We will give praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahuwah by way of his Son and our Lord, Master, and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach. And let's get this show on the road. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hallelujah. Indeed. And when we look at John chapter 5, verse 39, we're going to swing right on over here to John chapter 7, about verse 16, right on after that. John chapter 5, verse 39. And it says, search the scriptures, for in them you think ye have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that ye have not the love of Elohim in you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of people problem is, because the love of Yah ain't in them. Before we even look at John chapter 7, verse 16, come over here to Deuteronomy 29, please. What I was sitting here telling you about perception of judgment and the way to view things and look at things. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're talking about dealing with things in a spiritual fashion. We look at Deuteronomy 29 and 1. You know, I thank the Lord for the word. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sitting here telling you, and you women too. Y'all got to learn to carry yourself, be women of respect. You know what I'm saying? One thing I done told y'all this before too, man. It's better for a woman to be seen than to be heard. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just remember, it's not the first time I done ever said that. It's better for a woman to be seen than to be heard. Much better. Well, ain't nobody told you to put it on like that. He said, these are the words of the covenant which Yahuwah commanded Moshe to make with the children of Yasharal in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. And Moses called unto all Yasharal and said unto them, ye have seen all that Yahuwah did before your eyes in the land of Egypt under Pharaoh, and unto all his servants, and unto all his land, the great temptations which our eyes have seen, the signs and those great miracles, yet Yahuwah have not given you a heart to perceive and eyes to see and ears to hear unto this day. I'm glad that we just sit back and look at that. This is a tie back to something that we talked about on Wednesday too, that we need to go back into more in depthly. This man say, you do not have eyes to see nor a heart to understand. Now, why would you think that you don't have eyes to see and a heart to understand? Why would you think that would be a problem for you to be able to execute that? No. It ain't even got anything to do with being in sin. What it has to do with is having this. Come over here to Romans chapter 8. After we look at Romans chapter 8, we'll look at Ephesians chapter 4 again. Or Galatians chapter 4. Somebody needs to hit the mute button. Can't put that phone on speaker. That thing gonna echo. Just like them people tell you, some of y'all probably call the radio station and you get on the air, you don't turn your radio down. Feedback be everywhere. About to kill the poor radio man. Look at verse 5 of Romans chapter 8. Romans chapter 8 and about verse 5. Romans 8 and about verse 5. And it says, for they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. But to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. This is why they didn't have the eyes to see nor a heart to really understand and see what was going on, because their minds were carnal. Because they were still thinking on according to the ways of the world and the ways of the flesh and the way things look in their eyesight, instead of doing this here. See, come on over to Isaiah 55 before I even get this John 7 and the Galatians chapter 4, because it just come to mind. Isaiah 55 and about verse 8. And it says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith Yahuwah. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. So you know what that ends up telling us right this here? What you think this would end up correlating and to put in our mind? Because he just said to be carnally minded is life, is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. So what is this telling us then if he say my thoughts are not like yours and my ways are not like yours? And as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways and my thoughts than your thoughts. What is that telling us? What do y'all think that's telling us?
Thinking in the natural. Thinking in the natural.
They say you're thinking in the natural. You ought to be thinking in the... Well, you know what he's telling you? Come over here to Philippians chapter 2. If I got to pull my app out and use my app, that's what I'm going to have to do. Because my Philippians chapter 2 is not present at this time. See, that's what happens.
Okay.
See, that chair about to take you out. You sit your behind down somewhere. Because I ain't going to no hospitals, man. I ain't going to no hospitals. Yeah, it's all right. All right, you can get up. Yeah, it's on the table. Stanks. Stanks. Leah, go get that book off the table. Bring it to your uncle. Thank you, Stanky. Philippians 2 and about verse 5.
No, not that one. That one over there.
Give it a second to pull it up. Philippians 2 and 5. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Yahushua. How much? Here we go, Stank. Bring it here, Stank. Your uncle won't. Thank you. Thank you, Potty.
Good job.
He say, who being in the form of Elohim, thought it not robbery to be equal with Elohim. Now he just sat back and said, let this mind be in you. He say, my thoughts are not like your thoughts, and my ways are not like your ways. And as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways and my thoughts higher than yours. So if he just said, let the mind of Mashiach be in you, what's that telling you?
Get like me.
That means you're going to have to get the Lord's mind in. And wouldn't you think that he say he the way, the truth, and the life? Don't you think the mind that he had was higher than the earth? Don't you think the thoughts that he had were higher than the earth? So in order for you to be spiritually minded, you're going to have to replace your mind with the Lord's mind. You know what I'm saying? Just what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to put his mind on. See, that's why the man sat back and he made a profound statement in 2 Corinthians, the apostle Paul. He made a profound statement in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. Where he say, bringing every thought into the captivity of Hamashiach, meaning he say to bring them thoughts down and bring them in to lock them into the captivity of the Lord. Because you should be a prisoner for the Lord. You should be institutionalized and indoctrinated of the Lord.
Hey.
Instead of the ways of the world or the prison or America or the captivity that you come from. But because you are still locked into the captivity of what you come from, and you still thinking in your depth and your perception is based off your feelings and your emotions and your flesh and the world, that's why you don't have eyes to see. That's why you don't have ears to hear. That's why when I say certain things or do certain things, you don't actually know why I'm saying it or why I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I don't do nothing for no reason. I don't preach nothing for no reason. I don't mention things for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually, anything that I mention, I'm going to bring it back to this book. I'm going to bring it back to this. You know what I'm saying? Jim Dandy over here like to throw the boomerang out all the time. I done told y'all too many times, I be sitting there talking about something. You be like, boy, I'll be glad when this nigga talking about the word. When he'll talk about the word, and I be talking about the word the whole time. But you can't see past your nose. Not till I actually say it. You know what I'm saying? Then you be like, oh, man, he done brought it back. That was the whole purpose of mentioning it. You know what I'm saying? That was the whole purpose of mentioning it. When you sit back and you look at the Lord himself, the Lord was a man of respect. When he was walking in the earth, he was a man of respect. You know what I'm saying? He allowed them people to disrespect him because that was for the glory of the Father. Those things had to be. But you gonna respect me? You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of y'all don't know respect. You ain't never seen it. You ain't never learned it. That's what happens to you. That's how it happens.
Get up.
Now you figure out how to get your little stout behind up out of that. Come over here, Galatians chapter 4. Matter of fact, give me John chapter 7 first and verse 16 before we get to Galatians chapter 4. Try to tie this in with Deuteronomy 29. If the Lord permits. I won't sit here and tell you, man, being in America, worst thing ever happened to this people. Worst thing ever happened to this people. Because the same thing that happened to our ancestors in Egypt, it happened to us here. You know, we can actually see the foreshadowing of going into Egypt in the story of our father Abraham. Y'all know that? Y'all aware of that? Where you see the foreshadowing of it at? I'm going to see if y'all think about what I'm thinking about. Yeah, it was a famine. That ain't what I'm looking at, though. That ain't what I'm thinking about. Not that famine, though. It might have been. Let me check. Let me make sure. I don't want to say that, and that's what I'm thinking about. It might be in the chapter, what you referring. No, it's not in that one now. We'll see in a second. Y'all see what I'm talking about. Let's read John chapter 7. Though that, verse 16. Though that famine in the land is a part of it, but that's not the story I was thinking about.
When you went to the outside land, they asked about his wife.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. And it said, and Yahusha answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of the Most High, or whether I speak of myself. He that speak of himself seek his own glory, but he that seeketh glory that sent him, the same is true, and no unrighteousness is in him. Did not Moses give you the law? Yet none of you keep the law. Why go ye about to kill me? The people answered and said, thou hast a devil. Who go about to kill thee? Yahusha answered and said unto them, I've done one work, and ye all marvel. Moses therefore gave unto you circumcision, not because it is of Moses, but of the fathers, and ye on the Sabbath day circumcise a man. If a man on the Sabbath day receives circumcision, that the law of Moses should not be broken, are you angry at me, because I've made a man every whit whole on the Sabbath day? Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. So you can see how their perception was off. You know what I'm saying? You sit here, you heal somebody, you actually gave somebody a benefit. You know what I'm talking about? Of righteousness on the Shabbat. And you turn around and look at it and say, nigga, you wrong for that. But yet you will cut off a man's foreskin off his penis on this day, and you don't see a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? You know, and what else did he tell him? He said, if your ox fell in the pit on the Sabbath day, he said, I bet one of you niggas will pull him out. You know what I'm saying? He said, I bet it. Don't you pull on that. Lizzie, stop. You know what I'm saying? He said, I bet if your ox is thirsty, I bet you take him to the river, let him get something to drink. You know what I'm saying? Because their perception was all, because they were just thinking carnally. You know what I'm saying? You sat back and looked at what you thought it was. And you ended up seeing how he just rebuked them people for what they thought it was. He just made them look stupid. Yes, Lizzie. Yes. Galatians chapter 4. Because I'm going to show you the difference of what they were going on. Because when you're carnally minded, he say that's death. And you know that's bondage. You're in captivity right there. You're still in prison. You ain't been made free. See, Mashiach came to make you free. Galatians chapter 4. No, everybody don't want to be free. No, everybody don't want to be free. Do y'all notice how he said about the two covenants in Deuteronomy 29? Y'all notice how he said that? We're going to look at that again. We're going to look at that again. Galatians chapter 4, verse 24. Well, 22. 21 even better. Tell me, ye that desire to be under the law, do ye not hear the law? He say, tell me, you that want to be under the law, do you not hear it? Now, why would you think that Paul would turn around and make this statement? Let's see why. For it is written that Abraham had two sons, the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman. For the sake of clarity and preciseness, let's go look at that in Genesis chapter 17. For the sake of clarity and preciseness. No paraphrasing, no quoting. For the sake of preciseness and clarity, let's go to Genesis chapter 17. Back up to 16, pardon me. 16 and 1. Now Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarah said unto Abram, behold, now Yahuwah have restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah. And Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, and Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. Sarah said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. When she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. Yahuwah judged between me and thee. But Abram said unto Sarah, behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it please thee. And when Sarah dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And the angel of Yahuwah found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And she said, And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence came thou? Whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress. The angel of Yahuwah said unto her, return to thy mistress and submit thyself unto her hands. Now she ready to leave because she had been despised. She had been hated because this woman sat back and she looked at something. This was a child of the flesh. Because we know in Genesis 15, what did he promise Abraham? What did he promise him? In the 15th chapter of Genesis, what did he promise him? He promised him an heir, a seed. That's what he promised him. That's why the Lord say don't judge according to appearance, but judge righteous judgment. In Sarah's mind, she was looking at, I ain't had no baby, we not going to get one. You know what I'm saying? If she would have judged according to righteous judgment, she would have trusted what you know Abraham had already told her what was going to come to pass. You know what I'm saying? Come on over here to the 18th chapter. Let me see, 18 might not be what I want. 21 is what I want. 21. So when we look at verse 1, and then we'll drop down a little bit, stop hitting. And Yahuwah visited Sarah as he had spoken, and Yahuwah did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age at the set time which the Most High had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare unto him, Isaac. So come on down to verse 9. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, which she had born unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even Isaac. And this thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. And Elohim said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, because of thy bondwoman. And all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac thy seed shall be called. Now you sitting back and you see, because if you go back in Genesis 17, he made a covenant with, or in 16, he made a covenant with him pertaining to Ishmael too, didn't he? Said he have kings come out of him. Remember that? Y'all remember that? Now let's come back to Galatians chapter 4. Because he said, in Isaac thy seed shall be called. You got one child that's the child of a bondwoman. And you got another child that's the child of a free woman. Lizzie, you just not going to learn. No. Yeah, I know you're not going to learn. Verse 22 of Galatians 4. For it is written that Abraham had two sons, the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman. But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh, but he of the free woman was by promise, which things are an allegory, for these are the two covenants, the one from Mount Sinai, which gender unto bondage, which is Agar. For this Agar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, and answer to Jerusalem, which now is and is in bondage with her children. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. Now, how could these things pertain to these two covenants? Yeah. One the tender in the bondage and the other one the freedom. How is this possible? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? When you sit back and when you sit back and you look at with Ishmael, he's after the flesh. If we go look at the first covenant, what we gonna find? Let's look at Hebrews 9:1 and let's see what we gonna find about the first covenant. Let's see what we gonna find. Leah took that with some force. Then truly the first covenant all had also ordinances of divine service and a worldly sanctuary. For there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the candlestick and the table and the shewbread, which is called the sanctuary. Don't you sit back and you realize this here? Remember when we looked at that, with that first tabernacle made in the wilderness? You remember when we looked at that? And what was in that first tabernacle? The same thing that man just told you, right? A candlestick, right? Now how is that candlestick important for us then? How is that candlestick important? What does a candlestick do? Hold what you got. Hold what you got and look at Matthew chapter 5. And about verse 14. That's why Paul told you, you ought to shine as lights amongst a crooked and perverse generation. How you going to be able to shine as a light if your perception is off? If your judgment is off? Remember, we dealt with that a long time ago about having a just weight and a just balance. And that means you have to keep that flesh in check. Which is going back to what we were really dealing with Wednesday. And hopefully, I can tie these two things that are in my mind that I wanted to hit Wednesday that I didn't get a chance to hit because we were running a little long. And that is, you don't want to be coming out of prison or coming out of a state where your perception and your judgment was off, where you had eyes but you couldn't see, and you had ears, stop scratching, and you couldn't hear. And therefore, you can't see past your nose, and that's how you keep missing stuff. That's how the people missed all the stuff that Mashiach was doing. Because if they could have seen past their nose, they would have seen how he was fulfilling the word. They would have known that who he was. They wouldn't have been judging it based off of what it looked like. They would have been judging it according to the word. Because if you judge a righteous judgment is going to take us back to what he told Abraham. He was counted, and he said he believed in Yah, and it was counted to him for righteousness. Because you believe what the word say, you would be looking at all things through the angle of the word. Y'all don't look at things through the angle of the word. You don't look at this, especially, I'm telling you right now, I could be preaching to y'all and not reference the word one single solitary time. You know what I'm saying? When I mentioned to y'all about that Wednesday, did y'all catch why I kept focusing on one particular point? That's not the first time have I done that. Is that the first time I ever did that? That I'll come back. Sometimes I might wait 2-3 weeks and come back and say, y'all remember when I said this right here? Do y'all know why I said that? And y'all miss it every single time because you just thinking I just was talking about something. You know what I'm saying? Just what that nigga said on training day. He said, man, you've been planning this all day. Son, I've been planning this all week. You know what I'm saying? It could be stuff I already have in my mind, and I just throw it out there before I even preach on it, just to see if you'll catch it. Just to see if you'll catch it. So your mind will start being a little sharper on why did he say that? There has to be a reason why he said that. There has to be. Y'all don't think like that. We're trying to get you to see past your nose. You start crying, I'm going to kick you in your dome. 5 and 14. You can't have it, you can't have it. He said, ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it give light unto all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in the Shamayim. Don't you realize that that candlestick in that tabernacle was to give light to the whole house? And don't you know if look at Isaiah chapter 8. Let's just look at it. Listen, stop slapping yourself in the face. Isaiah 8 and 13. Listen, you had some sugar. You acting like what you did on them donuts the other day. Come here, Tiz Lizard. Let's stay right here. Isaiah 8 and 13. Sanctify Yah of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling and for a rock of offense to both houses of Yasharal, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And many among them shall stumble and fall and be broken and be snared and be taken. Now come back to this here. So this man say he is a sanctuary. Now what did he sit back and tell you in Matthew 11? Come unto me, all you that labor, and I give you rest. Because the house of Yah is supposed to be for a resting place. You know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be a place of safety, wouldn't you say? Leah, bring me that phone. Bring it here. Take it to your mama. You know what I'm saying? So if you know that he said Yahushua would be a sanctuary, and there's a candlestick in the sanctuary, then that means all that entering into him, there has to be light in that house because he's the light of the house. How you walk in the house and you still can't see and it's a big old light in there and you still around here fumbling around blind and stupid? Don't you know that's got to be bad? You walk in a room full of light and you still talking about you can't see? And stop. Sit down. Don't get up again. You know what I'm saying? Now y'all sit back and think about that. You sit there and think that all that comes from where you could walk in a room with a bright light on and you can't see because your judgment off. They looked at this man and say he healed somebody on the Sabbath. He did this. When that man say, your sins are forgiven thee, who but the Most High can forgive sin? Who do you think you are? Their judgment was off. Because you know why their judgment was off? Because they were known from Daniel 9:24 that he would come to make an end of sins and make reconciliation for the people. They wouldn't even open their mouth up and said that. They would have had to know there's got to be the Hamashiach. He got to be the anointed one of Yah. Who else could say that? Daniel already told us. But their judgment was off. In a room full of light and blind. Look what else he say in there. And a table with the shewbread. So if it's the shewbread, that would be that bread from here. You know, it's man in there and all. That man told you his body was bread. Stop. If you would have picked that thing up, I'd have stopped doing what I was doing and tore your behind up. You'd have flipped your sister on her head. Verse 2. Or verse 3. And the second veil, the tabernacle, which is the Kodesh of all, which had the golden censer and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded, and the tables of the covenant, and over it the cherubims of glory, shadowing the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly. And now when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of the Most High. But into the second went the high priest alone once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people. For the Ruach HaKodesh, this signifying that the way into the Kodesh of all was not yet made manifest, while as the first tabernacle was yet standing. See, come back over here to Matthew chapter 24. Matter of fact, yeah, Matthew 24. He said the Kodesh of all wasn't made manifest while the first tabernacle was standing. I'm going to show y'all something. Matthew 24:1. Let's sit back and look at something the Lord told him. It says, and Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Truly I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Now, why do you think he told them men this? Huh? Why do you think he told them men this? That is true. That is true. That ain't the reason why I came here, but that is true. Do y'all know why he told them people that? Anybody? Don't be scared now. Look at 2 Chronicles chapter 7. We might deal with the concept of what Corey was just talking about. But look at 2 Chronicles chapter 7, because that ain't what I came there for. This man just told you that the Ruach HaKodesh signified that the most Kodesh of all could not be made manifest while that first tabernacle was standing. Ain't that what it said? You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to make sure now. Let me reread it again, because I don't want to quote the man wrong now. Hold on. This man just said that the Ruach HaKodesh signified the way into the most set apart of all could not be made manifest while that place was still standing. So let's look at 2 Chronicles chapter 7. Now probably about verse 14. Give me a second to get around now. Pardon me, give me a moment. And here we go. And we are on point. 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from Shamahim and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. You know, that's the biggest problem for some of y'all. You can't humble yourself to save your own life. That man say he that humbleth himself as a little child be first in the kingdom of heaven. And you niggas ain't got no humility whatsoever. None. Because it's always a fight and a struggle. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Like this here, man. Because only, and it's in my mind, college, we're talking about it. All of us got to humble ourselves. But for a woman, it's even more so. Cause I'm telling you what, don't no man like no woman who ain't humble. That's not attractive. You know what I'm saying? Even in the world. I done had y'all, we done talked to y'all about this before. Like I just referenced y'all earlier. The words say, a woman with a quiet and meek spirit, the Lord look at that as a great price. How many times we done had these men sit here and mention to y'all the one thing they can't stand is a loud and stubborn woman. Some of y'all women sit back and y'all could be out in the street and you hear a woman who all loud. God, y'all don't like it. It's disgusting. Some of y'all women are like that or were like that or still got that elements in you. All it takes is the right situation and circumstance. It get pulled out. You know what I'm saying? Why you think when they put black women on TV, they always got to put y'all out there that you're loud and obnoxious? Does every black woman carry herself like that? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. But they got to try to paint y'all in the worst light. You know, white women be loud and obnoxious. Truth be told, from my dealings and sins, I think white women are a little bit tad more loud and obnoxious than black women, in my honest opinion, from what I've seen in my life experience. They just go about doing it different. They just go about doing it different than black women do. They do it a little different. They do the same thing, though. You know what I'm saying? But they paint that white woman differently on television or in movies when she carry and conduct herself like that. They was like that she's the stern matriarch of the family. That's how they'll paint her. You know what I'm saying? That's how they paint her. See, they'll take that same negative attribute and behavior that they say black women exhibit and they'll give it a positive spin when it's a Caucasian. That's how they do y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't sit back and realize what the book say for a woman that you ought not to do those things so the word don't be blasphemed. You know what I'm saying? But on both ends though. Because the book say, if you humble yourself as a little child, you'll be counted as the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. See, that'd be a hard thing to do when, for a lot of times, when there's something being said you don't want to hear or you don't like or you agree with, especially y'all women. I'm telling y'all, because y'all get married, man, it don't matter what your husband say to you, you better learn to keep your mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? Just keep your mouth closed. You know what I'm talking about? Just keep your mouth closed. Cause I promise to you, ain't nothing good gonna happen for your soul if you just go ahead and try to get that word out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? To get that statement off or to feel like you gotta express yourself. You know what I'm talking about? Better just pause and wait. Don't say nothing. You know what I'm talking about? The man ask you for it, you know what I'm saying? Or give you space to speak, then speak. But y'all better learn, boy, this ain't no, what it is, man. This ain't no equal opportunity when it comes to that. It don't matter if you got a million things you want to say out your mouth. If your husband tell you to shut your mouth, you're going to have to keep it closed. You know what I'm saying? You got to think that way. You got to think that way. It doesn't matter if you don't like it. Man, you know, one time we had that same discussion about 3-4 years ago. Remember, I remember Nell look in her face and the sound of her voice like this here. It don't matter if your husband say something, if you don't agree with it, you still got to roll with it. You know what I'm saying? You still got to roll with it. Your objections to the matter, it doesn't even matter. Keep it to yourself. Unless he asks you for it. You know what I'm saying? That'd be a hard thing to do, don't it, Lamar? Keep it to yourself. You're getting better at it. At least you honest. At least you honest. You know what I'm saying? I know a little muffin, she's like, one of the things I know hard for her, she had to lose that sarcasm. Because see, our family is built on sarcasm. You know what I'm saying? We have mastered the art of sarcasm. You know what I'm saying? We teach it to our children. You know what I'm saying? I'm for real. My mama taught me sarcasm. I taught it a little muffin. Look here, you know, I know it. I'm talking about, we ain't even been around Gregory, then you know he got it. Like my mama's side of the family, we schooled in the art of sarcasm. You know what I'm saying? But when she got married and came in this way, she realized she couldn't do that no more. That they did it before they came in this way. You know what I'm saying? She could hit him. She'd hit Dwight with the most sarcastic statement. He used to tell me about it. She's a little sarcastic booger. But when they came in the word, she had to drop that. She can't do that. It's not cool. That'll cost her her life. You know what I'm saying? That's something for some of y'all. I think that's minute. That's not a big deal. You go to hell for that. You know what I'm saying? You'll go to hell for that. You know what I'm saying? When you come to a lot of these people, man, I had a sister text me early this morning. Well, inbox me, text, it's all the same. Just another form of text message. You know what I'm saying? She was like, man, I stopped going to church. Am I wrong for that? I'm like, not if they telling lies. She said, yeah, it was a Sunday church. She said, I had a dream about the Most High and the Father and the Son name. And when I went to my pastor, he told me, oh, that's the high things. And he said, I know those names. But she said he still called him Jesus, though. And she said something about it just didn't sit right in her heart. You know what I'm saying? Especially with I'm having dreams about what this man's name is. Now, she was given the name Yahweh, which we know that ain't his name. You know what I'm saying? The full name. But she at least knew the shortened version. You know what I'm saying? And she got Yahshua out the deal, too. You know what I'm saying? Which is just the Aramaic version of what his name is. You know what I'm talking about? But she got that, though. And she was sitting back looking at, I'm tired of walking in lies. I'm tired of this here. Because when you come up in them Christian churches and you come up in this world, even if you ain't in the church, they give you that deranged mind frame of thinking that things that you think ain't that big of a deal to get you in trouble, they are. And you know that you be out there in these streets, man, ain't a big deal if you take that bubble gum. You know what I'm saying? It make you think it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal because if you get caught, the embarrassment is going to bring on yourself or your people. Or these people might say, go ahead and run them to jail just to quote unquote teach them a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Run them to DDC, which is Duval Detention Center for the juveniles. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that. Because you know what ends up happening? The little small things that you think you can get away with and do, when you put them all together, you know what it equals up to? One big old pile of poop. Y'all ever heard of something that the police use called the broken window syndrome? Y'all ever heard of that before? What that is that they saying is if somebody throw, basically for the sake of the discussion, if you throw a rock in a window and it breaks, right? And somebody sees that blight in that house and nobody come fixes it. You know what I'm saying? That starts the pattern of a downturn in the neighborhood. Because if you let that slide, then somebody else might come spray graffiti on the house. You know what I'm saying? And if you let that slide, then somebody might come around here and start breaking into cars. And if we let that slide, the niggas start selling dope. And if you let that slide, then the women out here prostituting because they trying to get money to get some dope. And the next thing you know, you got a full-fledged high crime area. And only thing it started with was a rock busting a window. And some of y'all, man, that's too far-fetched, but you wouldn't believe that some of the worst neighborhoods in the United States of America, they fell off in just that same similar fashion, was something that was such a small, inconsequential act to many, which opened the floodgates or was a domino to the beginning of a whole end destruction of an entire community. You understand what I'm saying? You sit back and think on the things that you think are minute and are not things to be looking at. Because the Lord be showing y'all the stuff, but y'all don't be caring. Because you're going to think it's a big deal. No matter how big, no matter how small. If it's something that's going to be an impediment to your soul, you know the best thing to do is take heed to it and acknowledge it, because I'm telling you, it's just going to lead to other stuff. The man said, if you commit sin, you shall even live in it. You know what I'm saying? If you keep a carnal thought process, you will stay in that, because you can't be, the book say, The carnal mind is enmity with the spiritual mind. It can't be subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. There's enmity between the serpent seed and the woman seed. That means carnality and spirituality cannot exist in the same place. You can't be spiritual on Tuesday and carnal on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So that means if you put that carnal mind down, then your emotions are never going to come into play. They're going to be there. You know what I'm talking about? But you're not going to be moved by them. You're not going to judge things according to them. See, them people sat back and look at them. They say, how you got a devil? See, them people were all emotional and carnal and charged up when they were talking to the Lord and dealing with him. You know what I'm saying? The spiritual mind couldn't come in there because everything they were looking at it according to the flesh. Well, we know that the soul that sinned, it shall die. Dust you came from, and dust you shall return. So that process ain't going to get you nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to get you nowhere. You know, I tell you this stuff to warn you. But y'all can keep hearing the warning and thinking, you know what, man, that nigga just talking. But in the end, the Lord going to show you, I wasn't just talking. You know what I'm saying? Even as a man, we're not emotionally wired, but you still got to keep him in check. I done been on too many shows talking to niggas, and boy, I get crunk up and start to going in. Oh, that brother getting emotional. Nigga, I'm not emotional, nigga. I mean what I say. I'm serious about what I'm saying to you. Ain't no emotion involved because my voice went up. Ain't no emotion involved because now you hear power in my voice that you can seriously tell I mean every single solitary word that's coming out my mouth. I'm dead serious about it. You should be able to tell that because when I get finished saying whatever I'm saying, my voice go right back to normal without no transition. Like, boom, it wasn't no he eased back into it. It was off, it's over with. I said what I had to say. I meant it, it's done, it's through. I meant that. When you're emotional, you can't do that. You can have ebb and flows. How many of y'all done went on an emotional rant and you know you went from highs to lows, not just one, boom, and stopped? I guess nobody. You have. You went on emotional rants where you ebbed and flowed. You ever said what you had to say to just stop? You know what I'm saying? When you did that, I mean you meant what you said, wasn't no emotion involved, was it? You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm saying to tell you, boy, I speak, boy, ain't no emotion involved. But I know how to separate mine. You know what I'm saying? I do not speak nor make decisions based off of it. You know what I'm saying? I say something to you, I meant that at that time. Every single solitary word. You know what I'm saying? And even one time when I told you, when I uttered them words like this here, I'm good. You ain't got to worry about it. I meant that. You know what I'm saying? Just, you got to, sometimes you can get a reprieve. I still meant that though. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't say that because I was feeling that particular. That's why I told you I think it's real gay to hear a grown man say he in his feelings. That's one of the most feminine things I could ever hear a man say out of his mouth. I feel some type of way. Nigga, that sounds gay to me. I don't even remember when that terminology even started, but when I heard it, the first thing I thought was feminine. That sounds like something a woman would say. I'm just being honest. That sound, I do not see any grown man talking about, man, I feel some type of way about that. That nigga got to have his man card taken. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, your card on suspension for 3-4 weeks. You feel some type of way. I'm in my feelings right now. You in your feelings, nigga. Do you pee, nigga, standing up or sitting down? You know what I'm saying? What's going on, nigga? Do you wear silk panties or something? You feel, I'm in my feelings. You sit there and think about, does that sound like something a man should say? I'm in my feelings right now. You in your feelings? No, I ain't in my feelings. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never even thought to utter nothing like that. I'm talking about anything close to it, not that particular phrase. You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't in my feelings. No, when I said that, nigga, that's what I meant. I was offended by that statement. That's what a nigga said. I was offended by that. I didn't like that. I didn't care for that. Now I'm in my feelings. I feel some type of way. Man, check this nigga for, man, look here. But that's what's wrong with people, though. You notice that phrase, that terminology is used a lot because everybody's emotional. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's carnal. That's not of Yah. I done told y'all this too many times. Too many times. It seemed cold. That's what it went, going back to being sober, right? Business-like. You know what I'm saying? Emotionless. Dispassionate. You know what I'm saying? I done told y'all 1,000 times before. Boy, everything with me is straight business, never personal. I don't do nothing and it's personal. Nothing is, because when you do stuff and it's personal, that means your emotions are involved. You know what I'm saying? It is never personal. Never personal. Always business. You know what I'm saying? Nigga would talk that from the street. Never personal. If I wanted to do something to a nigga, it couldn't have been personal. It had to have been business. You know what I'm saying? It had to be a reason why I want to do this to you. That's why I was sitting there telling you, boy, that time I got hot when that nigga hit my homeboy in the mouth with that 2x4. You know what I'm saying? Nigga was angry. But it's also business that you injured my friend. I would like to injure you in return. You know what I'm saying? But because my big homeboy say, man, it ain't about no money, leave that alone. I left that alone. That's not really business. It is business, but it really ain't, because I will kill one of you niggas about this man right here. I love this dude. You know what I'm saying? You not finna, no, that didn't sit well with me. That didn't sit well with me. Some of y'all don't feel that doesn't make me a killer or something, but boy, you can get that angry. You know what I'm talking about? The way if you don't sit back and be objective, and I'm gonna show y'all that too, because it's in this word. Because I done been that angry. Not too many times, about twice, the way I would have killed the man. You know what I'm saying? But because I knew to sit back and be like, just because you angry right now, boy, you need to chill out. See, sometimes niggas get angry. They don't chill out. They go murder that man, get a life sentence. You know what I'm saying? They don't allow that anger to subside to be like, this. Okay, I'm good. Because if I would have went off that anger, I would have went and killed somebody. You know what I'm talking about? Then you'd have turned around and looked like, boy, I shouldn't even went and did that. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't even went and did that. I don't feel bad about killing this nigga, but I probably should have let him. I could have gave him a pass. Because I'm of the school of thought, if you in them streets and you go kill somebody, that mean that man ought to die. And if you don't feel like that man ought to die, you ain't even got no business going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. Like straight up. Some of y'all ain't never been there. Some of y'all call yourselves been angry. But that's a whole nother level of anger, to be angry enough to take another human being's life. How many of y'all have ever been that angry? But thank the Lord, you ain't never been that angry. It's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good look. It's a type of thing when you actually separate yourself and you go to thinking about it and you be like, boy, I don't need them type of thoughts coming in my head like that no more. Especially when you not a cold-blooded killer anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because see, you got people who are killers that have no problem taking human life. And then you got people who will kill if you push them to it. And they're just as dangerous as a cold-blooded killer. You know what I'm saying? Because that's somebody, I don't bother nobody, I don't mess with nobody, but if you push me to that point, I will exterminate you and will not feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch. You don't mess with people like that. You know what I'm saying? I've been around people like that. Humble dudes, cool dudes. Man, you push them to that point, they'll knock your whole dome loose. Because they don't, and it's going to be the main point of, because I don't mess with nobody. You know what I'm saying? And you coming at me like this. And even still, when you come at them, you had to really continually push them to get them to the point to want to execute physical harm to you. Because they're giving you passes. They're giving you passes and you steady pushing it. You know what I'm saying? And you know how we can turn that around and look at it. Boy, the Lord is merciful, kind, forgives sin and iniquity. But some of y'all, you keep pushing him and you keep trying him, and that patience gonna run out and that man gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? And that man gonna kill you. Where we at, man? About verse 15. Now my eyes shall be open and my ears attent unto the prayer that is made in this place. For now I have chosen and sanctified this house, that my name may be there forever, and my eyes and my heart shall be there perpetually. Now, what you think we could go look at? My eyes are open, my ears are intent to the prayers made in this place, and I sanctified this house, and my name is there? Well, let's look at John 5:43 real fast. I ain't forgot the key point what I'm looking at. Y'all all right so far? I know we started a little late. We at about the 50-minute mark. It ain't but 10:12. We'll be all right, I suppose. He said, I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another and seek not the honor that comes from Elohim only? So as we can see, he said if he come in his Father's name, that means obviously the name of Yahuwah would have to be in it. The name of Yah would have to be in him. Wouldn't you surmise that? That's what I was asking to telling the sister earlier this morning. She was like, well, is it wrong to use the name Jesus? And what scripture, well, not scripture, but what place could we use to justify that we know we ain't got no business calling this man Jesus? What place y'all remember? What place can we go look at to justify that? Acts chapter 26. Acts chapter 26. Because when he told Paul his name, Paul said, I heard him speak to, because I was talking to a brother about this last week. He was like, man, you know, the New Testament was written in Greek and Aramaic. I said, no, it wasn't. It was written in Hebrew. They just don't want you to find the manuscripts of it. It was written in Hebrew. You know why we know it's written? Because they got people thinking that just because the people were speaking Aramaic at the time, that they didn't speak Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? People can speak more than one language. You know, as a matter of fact, since I said that, come over here to Matthew chapter 27. Let's show how we know the people during the time of the Lord were speaking Hebrew. What you think that we could look at and prove it so we could know them people were speaking Hebrew? Hold on, Matthew 27 might not be the one I'm looking for. No, but see, he spoke, I was Aramaic. But come over to John chapter 18. When he said that Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, that was in Aramaic. John 19 and 19. There you go. There you go. That's how you know they spoke Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? John 19 and 19. And Pilate wrote a title and put it on the cross. And the writing was, so if we know he wrote it in Hebrew, then we know the name that would have been up there would have been Yahusha of Nazareth, the king of the Yahudim. Then the title read many of the Yahudim, for the place where Yahushua was crucified was nigh to the city, and it was written in Hebrew and Greek and Latin. If them people couldn't speak or read Hebrew, then why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? The stuff nigga be coming up with is just utterly preposterous. They didn't speak or know Hebrew, but he wrote a title that this man named was Yahushua of Nazareth, king of the Yahudim, but they didn't know or speak Hebrew. That's the part kill me. You got a Hebrew name and call him Jesus. Now, what type of sense that is? You took the time to make you up a name that ain't nobody told you to do. But see, we speak English, brother. That nigga, why is your name Mikael? You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what? When he come back with that new name, he'll tell it to you. You better know the name you know now, you dumb nigga. Niggas say, you got this here, man, so why you, I can't even pronounce some of these names these niggas be coming up with. I just use Mikael because I know it's two brothers that I know that had that name. You know what I'm saying? Because their names are Michael. You know what I'm saying? So I could give them that. You know what I'm saying? Using Mikael because their names are Michael. You know what I'm saying? Like your name is Michael and you're just saying your name in Hebrew as it would sound because that really is your name. You know what I'm saying? But we know, I'm going to go ahead and do it because they on here. But Corey and Troy had name. Nigga can't even pronounce that. Nigga, what is that? How do you say that? Look at this nigga here like this here. That ain't nowhere near Corey. You know what I'm saying? And cause, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. But what we talking about is you ain't getting no Hebrew translation of Corey. You know what I'm saying? Like this here, when Troy said here, boy, Troy said that day, I said, nigga, I can't pronounce that. I'm gonna just call you Troy. I'm gonna call you what your mama named you. I can't pronounce that. You know what I'm saying? I could barely spell it. You know what I'm saying? You know I had to mess with it. Come on back to 2 Chronicles chapter 7. You know I had to mess with it. That's real though. A lot of these dudes be coming up with names that don't even be their name. You know what I'm saying? Well, look at verse 20, y'all. That's what they be doing then. He say, then let me put verse 19. But if you turn away and forsake my statutes and my commandments, which I have set before you, and shall go and serve other powers and worship them, then I will pluck them up by the roots out of my land, which I have given them in this house, which I have sanctified for my name, will I cast out of my sight, and will make it a proverb and a byword among all nations. And this house, which is high, shall be an astonishment to everyone that pass by it, so that he shall say, why have Yahuwah done this unto this land and unto this house? It shall be answered, because they forsook Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers, which brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, and laid hold on other powers, and worshipped them, and served them. Therefore have he brought all this evil upon them. Now, why is that important, what we looked at in verse 19? About him saying, I'm going to pluck this house up, I'm going to cast it out my sight. We done looked at this before. But now we're just looking at it in a different way. And the house that is high would be an astonishment and to everybody that passed by. Why is this important? Going back to Matthew 24, when this man made the statement, there shall not be one stone of this house that shall not be thrown down. Why is this important? Anybody got any idea why this could be important? Well, let's look at Jeremiah. I want to say 38. Y'all all right? All right. That's like I said, all I hear is niggas breathing. I'm sorry, Jeremiah 52. Jeremiah chapter 52. And we look at Jeremiah 52, and let's look at about verse 16. And Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, left certain poor of the land for vine dressers and for husbandmen. And the pillars of brass that were in the house of Yahuwah, and the bases and the brazen sea that was in the house of Yahuwah, the Chaldeans brake and carried all the brass of them to Babylon. The cauldrons also, and the shovels, and the snuffers, and the bowls, and the spoons, and all the vessels of brass where they ministered, they took away. And the basins, and the fire pans, and the bowls, and the cauldrons, and the candlesticks, and the spoons, and the cups, that which is of gold in gold, and that which is of silver in silver, took the captain of the guard away. The 2 pillars, 1 sea, and 12 brazen bulls that were under the bases, which King Solomon had made in the house of Yahuwah. The brass of all those vessels was without weight. Concerning the pillars, the height of 1 pillar, 18 cubits, a fillet of 12 cubits, the composite thickness thereof was 4 fingers, it was hollow. Now you notice that they taking all this stuff up out of the house. So what you think they did to it after that? What you think they did to it after that? Because Lamentation, Jeremiah tell you about it too. What do you think happened if they taken all the stuff? What happened after that? They tore the whole house down. But what did they do when they took the whole house down? They did 2 things to it. Well, one thing in particular. You know the one thing they did to it? I'm going to see who knows. What they did to the house of Yah when they tore it down during Nebuchadnezzar. What did they do to it? How did they tear it down? They burnt it. They burnt it with fire, right? That don't sound like none of y'all. Even when they tore down the second tabernacle that the master, the Lord, was talking about, what did Nero do to it? How did he tear it down? He burned it. He burned it down. You know, it's a restaurant right around the corner from here named Nero's. I refuse to pay. I refuse to give them my money. I'm serious. It's on the road that lead up. It's on the road leading up the Tatum house. They actually got good food. They actually got good food there too. But just because it's named after the dude that tore down the temple, I'm good. I'm for real. Name Nero's. I had a pizza from there and I think some lasagna from there before I really knew anything about the word. It was delightful. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going back though. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go myself. I ain't telling you it's a sin to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do what you want. I ain't going. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you, hit the sandwich shop that's right next to it. The sandwich shop that's right next to it. Blue Boy. You got slap. You been to slap your mama for one of them Blue Boys. I'm just sitting there telling you. I didn't tell you go to Blue Boy. Get you a pizza from somewhere else. So why is this important now in Matthew 24 that he said that no stone of this temple going to be left standing? Going back to what we looked at Hebrews 9. Can y'all see where I'm going? Do y'all see where I'm going? Where I'm going at? Pull your card. I'll pull your card now. But what did we just sit back and look at? Indeed, but what did we just sit back and look at what he just said? The writer of Hebrews said that the way into the most Kodesh of all could not be made manifest while the first tabernacle is standing. So come on over here to the book of Job and about the 6th chapter. You just sit back and see where this man was letting it be known that this first tabernacle had to be destroyed. Why did it have to be destroyed? Still tying into what we're talking about in Galatians 4, because this first tabernacle is showing you that you were engendered to bondage. There was no freedom for you. There was no freedom for you. You were still in jail. You know what I'm saying? This is all leading up. It was all leading up what we were talking about last night about you came out of the house of bondage into the wilderness to be able to be free. But you stayed holding on to bondage because you preferred captivity versus freedom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what it is here in Job chapter 6. Job chapter 6, verse 20. Listen what he say now. Matter of fact, back up to about verse 14. There's other stuff up here to the top, but I got to wait. We'll look at verse 11 though. What is my strength that I should hope? And what is my end that I should prolong my life? Is my strength the strength of stones, or is my flesh of brass? Is not my help in me, and is wisdom driven quite from me? Now, I'm thank the Lord he took me in direct. I seen a nigga say something and I got to deal with it because I seen it. I didn't like how that went down. What do you see this man say? What is my strength that I should hope? What is my end that I should prolong my life? Why is that important for us? What is your strength that you should hope? What is your strength that you should hope? Well, hold what you got. Hold what you got and come over here and look at Luke 17. Because I seen a stupid nigga trying to play games with it. I hate old ignorant bastard. Luke 17 and 20. I can't stand old ignorant bastard. You know what I'm saying? Niggas reading this right here, just running their mouth, flapping their gums, and this niggas be sideline cheering these niggas. Yeah, man, he brought it, he said something. You damn it, somebody sold you ingrate. Niggas the real live imbecile. You know what I'm saying? Stupidity is a dangerous drug. 17 and 20. Look what he said. He said, and when he was demanded of the Pharisees when the kingdom of Elohim should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of Elohim come not with observation, neither shall they say, lo here or lo there, for behold, the kingdom of Elohim is within you. Do you know these stupid niggas mangle this man words up every time they look at this? Now, why do you think this man told him that? Because this man say, where's the strength of my hope? He just told you the kingdom of heaven don't come. The kingdom of Shamayim don't come by observation. saying, look here, look there. He say it's in you. So what y'all think he meant when he said that? Why you think he said that? You can't get you ain't got the spirit ain't in him. So why is he telling them that? Listen what he said. What is my strength that I should hope? And what is my end that I should prolong my life? This man asked, and this is Job talking. This man say, is my strength the strength of stones? This man say, is your strength the strength of stones? He's asking you a question. This man said in Matthew 24, now one stone of this place gonna stay standing. He say, is my strength in the stones? He say, or is my flesh of brass? You know, you can't break no brass, right? So you know like this is, so that means my flesh strong then. He say, is not my help in me? Is wisdom driven quite from me? Come back to Job 6 one more. Let me read verse 14 before I proceed. He say, to him that is afflicted, pity should be showed from his friend, but he forsake the fear of the Almighty. Whoa, that man say to him that's afflicted, he should be showed pity from his friend. Let's go ahead and sit back and say, what is your strength that you should hope in Romans chapter 5? Let's see what your strength is that you should hope. You should already know what your strength was that you should hope. You should already know faith is the substance of things hoped for, the things not seen, by which the elders obtained a good report. See, when we sitting back and we looking at all this springing out of Galatians chapter 4, when we sitting back looking at all this stuff come from what? It's coming from what? It's coming from the two covenants that we read about in Deuteronomy 29 and Galatians chapter 4. One that was gendered under bondage and one that gendered under freedom. See, you're not sitting back catching. You got about why we looking at why these houses had to be tore down. Why he's making this statement. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong place. Romans 5 and 1. Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with Elohim through our Lord, Yahushua HaMashiach, by whom also we have access by faith into this grace, wherein we stand and rejoice in the hope of glory of Elohim. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations, also knowing that tribulation work patience, and patience experience, and experience hope, and hope make not ashamed, because the love of Elohim is shed abroad in our hearts by the Ruach HaKodesh, which is given unto us. For when we were yet without strength, in due time, Hamashiach died for the unrighteous. So what is your strength that you should hope? Your strength that you should hope, your strength ought to be in trust ye in Yah forever. Your strength ought to be in the Mashiach. See, come over here to Philippians 4. Look what Paul tell you. Philippians 4 about verse 13. Look what Paul tell you. Well, make it about verse 11. Verse 10. Because right now you talking about, Job is talking about he's in a low state, right? He say he's being afflicted. Listen to what he say. Well, I promise to you this still going to tie in. Y'all think this stuff ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Y'all will. I'll show you what I'm talking about. He said, but I rejoice in the Lord greatly now that at your last care of me have flourished again, where you were also careful, but ye lacked opportunity. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am therewith to be content. So this is talking about somebody who's being afflicted. He's talking about actually having friends that will do him well. Because Job is going to get ready to tell his friend, I'm in a bad spot. You niggas ain't doing nothing for me. He say, I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. Everywhere in all things I'm instructed to both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Hamashiach, which strengthen me. Notwithstanding, you have done well that you did communicate with my affliction. Job just said if a man is in affliction, he should be pitied of his friend. Now, why is this important when we can turn this back to the Lord and see why the Lord will look and have pity on us? What could we look at to see that? Because that means even though you locked up, even though you suffering, even though you're a prisoner to the good news, I would have pity on you. Because that ain't what he said in Job. A man should be pitied of his friend while he in affliction, right? Which goes back to what I mentioned to y'all earlier in 1 Corinthians chapter 12 when he said, if one member of the body suffer, we all suffer. Because you ought to have pity on your friend. You know what I'm saying? When they down bad. But see, we ain't talking about just being down bad because you feeling bad. I'm talking about really being down bad. Some of you niggas ain't never suffered before. Some of you niggas ain't never struggled before. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know what it's like. And some of y'all have and still can't have compassion or think about a nigga when they suffer. You know what I'm saying? When you've been struggling all your life, it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? As I remember that nigga Guru from Gangstar on a record, he said, I've been through a whole bunch of other stuff before. I should be able to take some more. Do you know what I'm saying? Man, the only thing I ain't never experienced in this life is death. So there's nothing that life could throw me that I couldn't be able to handle it because I done experienced. I've been homeless. I've been hungry. I've been naked. I've been fully clothed. I've been fooled. You know what I'm saying? I had good shoes. I had bad shoes. I've been incarcerated. I've been free. You know what I'm saying? I've been in physical altercations. I've kept the peace. Thank the Lord I ain't never been shot at. Nor did I ever have to shoot at somebody. I was prepared to, though. But the Lord didn't allow that to happen, and I thank the Lord for that. Because I know niggas that shoot just to shoot. I'm shooting to hit something. I never understood why nigga pull a gun and just shoot all wild. I know two dudes got in a shootout. They wasn't no more than 10 to 15 feet away from each other and didn't hit each other. Because they weren't trying to hit each other. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even finna waste my bullets or my time doing no crazy junk like that. If I'm gonna shoot at you, I'm gonna shoot and hit you. You know what I'm saying? If I speak a word to you, I ain't speaking it to you just to be speaking it to you. I'm speaking it to hit you in your heart that you might consider. You know what I'm saying? See, now we just shoot words. And when I shoot them words, it's so that you might consider. And I'm trying to hit you right in your brain, though. You know what I'm saying? In your heart, in your mind. That's why I'm coming after your mind. You know what I'm saying? There was a song we used to bump all the time back in the day, man. Goody Mob said, we fighting for your spirit and mind. What you think we do this for everywhere? That's what we fighting for. We fighting for that. Yeah, but that's the only part you can sing because them niggas ain't talking about no fighting for no spirit and mind. And now one of them verses, except for maybe when CeeLo went to talking. You know what I'm saying? Big Gip said a little something. The other nigga was talking about something else. Cujo was talking about something else. That nigga talking about riding around getting bills, going to prison. You know what I'm saying? Which to the extent it was, but he wasn't coming at the level what you thought he might have come at, considering what the song, what the hook was, what the hook was about, what the hook was saying. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about that, but when you listen to what the hook's saying, you would have gonna be expecting something different. You know what I'm saying? But you don't realize that's what we do this for every week. That's why when I tell stuff to y'all or this, that, it's fighting for your spirit and mind because it's a war going on outside. The enemy is after you. The world is after you. Sinners are after you. And you niggas playing. You know what I'm saying? We talk about taking that sword of righteousness, putting on the sword of the spirit, putting on that breastplate of righteousness and that helmet of salvation. But you niggas go outside without your armor and your pistol. Sitting ducks. Naked. Naked. The man saved my strength is that I should hope, and what is my end that I should prolong my life? Come on around here to see what he say your end of prolonging your life in Hebrews. I still got to show y'all that thing or something that's in my mind, what I was talking about. But come on around here to Hebrews. And verse 8 and 10, pardon me. Hebrews 8 and 10. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Yasharal after those days, saith Yahuwah. I will put my laws into their mind and write them into their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. They shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahuwah, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest. for I be merciful unto their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities I will remember no more. And that he saith, a new covenant made the first old. Now that which decay and wax old is ready to vanish away, because you had no hope for eternal life according to that first one. So that man saved my strength. Where is the strength? Hold on, because I don't want to misquote the man. I got to quote the man properly, because I want this to ring in your brain now. This man said, what is my strength that I should hope, and what is my end that I should prolong my life? Well, let's look at Philippians chapter 3, and let's look what Paul says my hope is, that I would prolong my life. We talked about it a little bit on Wednesday. When you desiring a tabernacle to be clothed from heaven, being burdened, which we talked about when we were looking at being under the bondage of the elements of the world. It take us right back to Egypt. And he said, we groaned because we were burdened. And we look back in Egypt, we were groaning because we were burdened. And he brought us out to dwell in a different tabernacle. He said, I gave you houses which you did not build. That man gave you a house in heaven which you did not build. You did not construct that Ruach HaKodesh. You had nothing to do with it. He gave you a place to dwell, because it also go back to Mashiach. He is a house that you can dwell in, which you did not build. And we'll get Hebrews chapter 8 one more time to back that up, because it's still tying into everything we talking about right now. Because really we talking about right now is freedom right now. You done came out of jail. You ought to be free. You ought to know where your strength lies. You ought to know why you would prolong your days. You understand what I'm telling you? You can't prolong your days thinking carnal. You can't prolong your days not seeing past your nose. You can't prolong your days not judging according to righteousness, but judging according to what it looked like. You can't prolong your days going by, I feel this way, I'm in my feelings, or I think. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell y'all sometimes that's why you ain't paid to think. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all, niggas say it because that's that sarcasm, really. Got it in my youth, where that phrase come from. But then let's just be honest and be truthful though. Some of y'all do not need to be paid to think, because you can't think your way out of paper bag. You know what I'm saying? I ain't being funny. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Some of you niggas have no critical thinking skills whatsoever. You know what I'm talking about? Can't think your way out of nothing. And the worst part is, you think you smart. That's the most dangerous part about it. You know you can't think good. You know what I'm saying? Because when you talking about somebody think, that means you got to be quick on your toes. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all don't be realizing, as remedial as it might sound, people who are good at ranking, that's somebody of quick wit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you a quick wit, that means you could come up, you coming up with jokes like this on the spot? You ain't sitting here thinking them out. You didn't have them written down. That means that's a man who has a mind that can move quickly. That means if his mind was applied to other things, he could be extremely successful. You know what I'm saying? Because he can think quickly. He can react quickly to situations and circumstances. He won't get bogged down. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have that ability. And ain't nothing wrong if you don't. That doesn't mean you're stupid or nothing. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't think. Be fast on their toes. You know what I'm saying? I done told T this a lot of times. I know I done told Mouth this. I done told Brittany this. Every single last one of y'all have something that you are good at. You know what I'm talking about? Just because you haven't found what you're good at does not mean that you do not have a talent that you could excel at. It's just because you placed yourself in certain boxes and put certain parameters, or you allowed people in your life to put parameters on you, you've never been able to do anything to tap and find it out. Because that goes for every last one of y'all who can hear the sound of my voice. Every last one of y'all have something that you're good at. You know what I'm saying? That I'm talking about, it come natural. When I say good at, I mean it's natural. Doesn't even take much effort. That you are good at. But if you believe that you're not good at something, or you don't have no talent, then you will never have it, you'll never find it, and you'll stay in the situation and circumstance that you're in. And you can't look at the next person's talent or gift and try to copy theirs, because just because you could copy it don't mean you could do it as good as them. You know what I'm saying? But you know why? The reason why a lot of people don't find out what they're good at? Because they ain't scared to try something, because they scared to fail. You know what I'm saying? You scared for somebody to say, oh, you tried and you didn't get it right. But at least I had the intestinal fortitude to go do it, nigga. You know what I'm saying? My granddad has always said, don't nothing beat a good try. Because at least you had the heart to go try and fail. But I'm going to say this here, though. But when it comes to their word, we can't fail at this, though. You know what I'm saying? We can't get this the good old attaboy, the good old hard trying. Ain't no trying to fail it. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to this right here. Ain't no trying, we got to do it. You know what I'm saying? But it's certain stuff, man, you ain't going to know what you good at until you just had a heart to go try it. If you ain't good at it, you ain't good at it. But guess what? The experience you can get from going to do that, you might use that towards something else. But you got to have the heart to try it. That's why a lot of people don't do a lot of things in life, because they don't have the heart to try it, because they are so worried about what their family or friends going to say if they fail, or if they go do it, because it's not necessarily what your people thought you would do or what they wanted you to do. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Just go put your hand to it. Anything y'all will want to do, man, as long as it don't go against the word, I'm with you, man. You know what I'm saying? And whatever way I can help you, I'm going to do it. I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? All I'm going to tell you is be realistic, be dedicated, be willing to sacrifice, and don't be no fool. You know what I'm saying? And do what you got to do. If you don't get success in the fashion that you wanted, so what? At least you put forth the effort. You know what I'm saying? At least you put forth the effort. There's no shame in failing. The only shame in failing is when you didn't learn something from the experience, or when you got knocked down, you didn't get your dusty behind back up and fight again. See, that's what going in about what a man. See, a man can't let a man walk up and hit him in the mouth. Because if he don't get up and fight, if the nigga knock you off your feet and you don't get up and put up no fight, no one is going to respect you as a man. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't get up and fight. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing in life, man. So what, you get knocked down, but as long as you get up and fight, a nigga can tip their hat to that. They can give you a salute. They can respect that because you didn't quit. You know what I'm saying? You might leave something alone and say, okay, that didn't work out well for me. That wasn't successful, but you didn't quit, though. You know what I'm saying? You didn't give up, though. You know what I'm saying? I seen dudes who were hopeless. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all don't know what that's like. To see a man and look in his eyes and know that he is hopeless. That man is dangerous because he don't care about living. Y'all don't know about people who done gave. Some of y'all done seen people done gave up on life, man. Just gave up. Just gave up. You know what I'm saying? That's sad to see. That's sad to see. Man, don't never let nobody, man, get in your mind to sit back and tell you, man, you can't do something, do this here, man. You can do whatever you want to do. As long as you don't go against God's word, do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do. There's not a single solitary thing that I could tell any of y'all you could not do. You know what I'm saying? I might say it wouldn't be a good decision for you to do it. I don't know if that's your strong suit. I wouldn't say you couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I would say you shouldn't do it if I don't think that would be successful for you. You know what I'm talking about? But you can do it. I ain't gonna never say what you can't do. I don't know about some of y'all. I love for a nigga to tell me what I can't do, but then I'm going to show you I can't do it. I'm going to show you I can't do it. I'm going to show you. See, we got a phrase around here. I'll show you better than I can tell you. You know what I'm saying? I'll show you better than I can tell you. It would people be like, man, you ain't going to be able to pass that real estate exam the first try. I'm going to show you. That's my objective. There was no other reason. I felt the same way about that CPT exam. I had that in my mind one time. You know what I'm saying? See, sometimes you got to have that type of tunnel vision. You be locked in. You know what I'm saying? You got to be locked in. Same thing it comes to saving your soul. See, Hamashiach was locked in. See, y'all don't be locked in. See, y'all teeter. You know what I'm saying? You niggas might make little nice little phrases, put up nice little posts, post little memes, but you don't actually live by none of that stuff, though. You know what I'm saying? Truth be told, it just looked good. You might thought a nigga might like it. It sounded good. But you ain't going to put it into practice, though. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no choice but to be dedicated. Whatever I do, I don't even care. It's the same way. It don't matter if business slow. It don't matter if business fast. Still got to make it do what it do. Still got to be able to persevere. Man, we black people in jail. You go to jail, them are the most perseverant, creative people you ever want to meet. What's the difference? Y'all in jail, be persevering people and be creative. Make something out of nothing. It's possible, but you niggas got to take them limitations and shackles off your brains, though. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if running a business ain't your thing, then don't do that. But find a profession or a skill that you want to do master it, go do it, and maximize your earning potential. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to T last night. She was telling me when she first started dealing with the word, a nigga told her, don't go to college. That's the white man stuff. That's got to be the most asinine thing a nigga ever tell you. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to tell you this here now because I'm going to preface this statement. You got to be careful going to them white folks' school. Going to them white folks' school mean absolutely nothing. You know what I'm saying? It don't make you no smarter or no better than anybody. But you can use things as a stepping stone to get you to where you're going. But don't be no fool. Don't be going to these for-profit colleges and these people hitting you with all these outrageous loans and rates and you going in debt. Don't be dumb. You know what I'm saying? Instead, be wise. If you're going to go do something the way you know that there's an opportunity for you to get a career or you learn a trade or skill that you can put into practice sooner rather than later. Just don't be going to school just to say you're in school. You know what I'm saying? Have a detailed plan of, I'm going to school to do this and to do that and to execute this and to execute that. Because I've been to college. I sat there and watched niggas. Niggas were going just to go. You know what I'm saying? And you know what a nigga favorite major was when a nigga just in school to be in school? I ain't gonna say criminal justice, that ain't what them niggas had. No. You know what a nigga favorite thing to major in when I was going to college, man? That I noticed niggas major in with business. Business administration. You know what I'm saying? Or communication. Them two. That's the nigga. See, cause Corey, no, he just got his degree not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? I know D know, and Troy know, and Will know, cause shoot, boy, Lord willing, man, this thing, I know Troy told me, boy, Will looking to try to get his masters in his thing. I say, do your thing, young man, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? But you sit back, I noticed that, man, and I ain't been in college in 12, 13, 15 years. But boy, when a nigga ain't want to know what he wanted to do, and he just was there just to be there, oh, what you majoring in? Business? Nigga, please. Nigga say the only business I see you in is in the student rec room upstairs, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Just like, and like say communications. You know what I'm saying? That be the majors nigga pick in when they just here, they just floating. They ain't got no plan. They just here. You know what I'm saying? They just here. That's the, niggas get degrees and majors and stuff that they can't even use. You know what I'm saying? Don't be one of those people. Be detailed and exact, man. Be strategic and plan. Just don't do stuff. Like my sister know, we were just talking about this last week. I knew I wanted to be a personal trainer about a year or so ago, about 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But the situations when they arose, they weren't ideal. You know what I'm saying? Had to pass on them till the right situation open. I was already ready because I prepared for it. I already knew I wanted to do this. You know what I'm saying? So I was already looking at which people give the best certifications. Which one is the best accredited? You know what I'm talking about? I already looked into all of that. I already did all of that. So I would be ready when the right opportunity, because yeah, you could go to these people and get it for cheap, but their accreditation means nothing to most training facilities. So why even do it? Yeah, you could get the certificate thinking short term, but long term you stuck. You're going to have to do it again and pay more money. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I mean when I'm talking about you can't see past your nose. Because you think about boom right now, and you ain't thinking about long term. Because the thing y'all got to be careful with by going to these people institution is don't put yourself in debt. You know what I'm saying? Don't put yourself in debt. Don't put yourself in debt. I just seen a lady on Jeopardy say the money she won from Jeopardy helped her pay her student loans. She been paying on them for 13 years. That's ridiculous. Especially when you got all these schools like, what, shoot, man. I think I just seen Everest University. Now they say they not for profit. And University of Phoenix, you know what I'm saying? And Kaiser College and Virginia College and all these people about that cash. You know what I'm saying? They about that cash. It's many more of them. It's too many of them to name here in Jacksonville. It's a whole gang of them. You know what I'm saying? I just named a few because I always see them commercials and I ride past Kaiser College and Virginia College. I think University of Phoenix gone. You know what I'm saying? It's still here. I ain't seen one because it used to be right there by the college. You know what I'm saying? But they gone from over there. I think it's a Dollar General now. And like I said, I just seen that Everest University commercial where they say they not for profit. You know what I'm saying? Which was to cut the price down. Because we were trying to go for HVAC. These people wanted 13 stacks. You know what I'm saying? Nigga could go to the state college. Yeah, you could get done in 9 months at Everest and pay them 13 stacks and be in debt. Or you go to FCCJ for about 15 to 18 months and pay like $3,000-4,000. You know what I'm saying? But you know what nigga be thinking about? I can get that thing quicker. But now you're going to end up being saddled with $30,000 to $40,000 worth of debt though. Remember what we just looked at on the Sabbath? What? The borrower is the servant to the lender. I ain't finna be serving you, buddy. You know what I'm saying? Philippians chapter 3, man. About verse 13. Matter of fact, about making verse 11. Let's see what our end of our hope gonna be. That I prolong my days. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and be about verse 9. And Philippians 3 and 9, everybody. Be found in him, not having my own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through the faith of Hamashiach, the righteousness which is of Elohim by faith. Because where is the strength of my hope? That I may know him in the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his suffering. Because he said a man who is afflicted should get pity from his friend. You got to know Hamashiach told you in John chapter 15 about verse 10 to about 13. He said about verse 13 about verse 15, greater love have no man than this, that a man lay his life down for his friend. He said, I call you my friend. If so be you do whatsoever I command you. You know that in the epistle of James, he said that Abraham was called the friend of Yah. Why was he a friend of Yah? Because Yah was his hope. You know what I'm saying? Going back to Psalm 16, my flesh shall rest in hope, that you will not suffer your Kodesh one to see corruption. Knowing if you dwell in the Kodesh one, you shall not see corruption, but you shall see everlasting life. Therefore you shall prolong your days, because he was made like unto the priest. He's a priest after the order of Melchizedek, because Melchizedek was in the similitude of the Son of the Most High, because he had neither beginning of days nor end of days, but abide eternally. Your hope and your strength is your faith in Hamashiach. You can do all things through Hamashiach who strengthen you. How will he strengthen you? To make your flesh as brass, because you'll have a word on. Because you would have put that breastplate of righteousness on. Because you would have put that helmet of salvation on. Therefore, your flesh would have been as brass. Because your flesh would turn into a Hamashiach, because your thoughts will be like his thoughts, and your ways will be like his ways, which are high in the heavens. Because you can't get into the way of the most Kodesh while the first tabernacle is standing. That first way can't be made manifest while it's still standing. Y'all understand what I'm saying to you? Do you follow what I'm talking about? He said that I may know him, and the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being made conformable unto his death, if by any means I might attain unto the resurrection of the dead, not as though I had already attained, either were already perfect, but I follow after, if that I may apprehend that for which also I am apprehended of Yahushua HaMashiach. See, come on back to Job now. Come on back to Job now, and let's look at what Job said one more time. So does that make sense, where you can see where your strength that I should hope, and what is my end that I should prolong my life? There is a reward. Paul told you in 1 Corinthians 15 about verse 57 or 58. He said your labor is not in vain in the Lord. What is your hope? That you should prolong your days. What is my end that I should prolong my life? Don't you realize your end for walking in this word is to give you eternal life? That's your end. That's your hope. Your strength. If the word is not your strength, then why are you dealing with it? Now let's sit back and we look at the next thing that he said. Is my strength the strength of stones? What do you think he means when he say, is my strength the strength of stones? That's what it sit back and look at it. Now, he asked that question, but now I'm going to flip it in a different fashion. He says, my strength, the strength of stone, right? Now, let's come over here since you said that there. Let's look at John chapter 12, verse 44. And also look at John chapter 5, verse 46. I'm sorry, let me get around there to it. Moving a little slow. Y'all all right, though? Y'all following what I'm talking about? Y'all following what I'm talking about? Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. John 12 and 44. Yahushua cried and said, he that believe on me, believe not on me, but on him that sent me. And he that see me, see him that sent me. I come a light into the world, that whosoever believe on me should not abide in darkness. If any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not. For I came not to judge the world, but to save the world. He that reject me and receive not my words, have one that judge him. The word I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. Well, let's see who that is that'll judge him. In John chapter 5, verse 46. John 5 and 45. He said, do not think that I will accuse you to the Father. There is one that accuse you, even Moses, in whom ye trust. For had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writing, how shall you believe my word? Because didn't the Lord tell them? He say, even in Moses, in whom ye trust. And that Brother Denzel already mentioned, Moses, the one gave you a covenant written on what? Tables of stone, right? But we just sat back and seen in Hebrews chapter 8, he say the first vanish away and wax old, that the second might appear. See, all them dudes who want to sit back and say they don't believe in the Mashiach, they want to put their strength in stones. You know what I'm saying? See, they want to put their strength in the ministration of death, because the letter killed, but the spirit give life. But now we're gonna turn around and look at it this way. But at the same time, our strength is in stones. 1 Peter 2 and 5. This is what he said. Make it 4. To whom cometh as unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, chosen of Elohim and precious. Ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house, a Kodesh priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Elohim by Yahushua HaMashiach. Wherefore, as it is contained in the scripture, behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believe on him shall not be confounded, or not ashamed, or not confused. He just told you that he shall be a sanctuary. Look at Hebrews chapter 8. Sanctuaries are made with what? That building was made with what? Stones, wasn't it? The same way that people looked at it in Jeremiah chapter 7, he said the house of Yah. He said the house of Yah is this. The temple of Yah. The temple of Yah is this. Amend your ways, amend your doings. See, them people looked at that temple as that was their strength as well. That's why he say, ain't no one stone of this place going to be left. Hebrews 8 and 1. Look what the writer of the epistle of Hebrews tell you. Look what he say. Now the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such a high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of majesty in the heavens, a minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle, which the Lord pitched and not man. It just said that a Mashiach was a cornerstone, right? A living stone, right? So that's going back to what we talking about. Like he mentioned what he told you in Matthew chapter 7. He said, I count a man who hear my words and do them as a man who built his house on a rock, which means your strength would be in that stone because you built your house upon that rock. Because he's a lively stone, a chief cornerstone, because you believe on it, you wouldn't be ashamed. See, like I said, we can look at it twofold. Stupid niggas, they strength of stone is in 2 stone tablets. Then we just read in Hebrews chapter 9, he said the 2 tables of the covenant were in that place. But why that, don't you realize why that, if them 2 covenants was in the temple, that when that place came down, that they were destroyed with it? Do y'all not realize them 2 tables of stone that were in the temple? Because it said they were in the tabernacle, right? In Hebrews 9, that's where it said it was at, right? You know that from the law. We done looked at this stuff in Exodus 25. You know that that's what was in there. So you mean to tell me y'all don't think when that temple was destroyed, them tables of stone didn't get destroyed with it? Don't you sit back and realize that when that temple got taken down and them tables of stone being taken down, and a Mashiach telling you that not one stone of this place will not be left thrown down, that's dealing with that he had to die, and he's a cornerstone and a lively stone, and he had to be thrown down. Why you think we looked at 2 Chronicles chapter 7? Didn't he tell you in John chapter 2, he spake of the temple of his body? Was he not thrown down? And wasn't that first, don't you know that first covenant had to be in him? Was that not thrown down? That man say, in John chapter 8, he said, he that commits sin is deserved of sin. He said, if the Son shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. That means the people were in bondage. He referenced and said, the Son abide in the house. The servant don't abide in the house. You sitting back seeing he mentioned in Ishmael and Isaac, you sit back seeing where he talking about the separation of two covenants, where Paul using that as an allegory, telling you that those two covenants were generating one to bondage, one to freedom. Come back to Romans chapter 10. Y'all remember when we looked at that? Satan was trying to tell him then, free the people then. He say, nigga, don't tempt me. Get out my face, nigga. 10:1, Romans. That's what he told him. Get out my face, fool. Don't y'all know, let's sit back and realize if we was to sit that and present that to the average person, man, they'll think we crazy. They ain't talking about that, He just asked them. They don't even sit. They said, I'm telling you though, but dude don't even, that's the first, they ain't talking about that, You tripping. See, you reaching. See, that JC got you going crazy. They ain't gonna sit back and consider, why did he ask this man to turn stone into bread? You know what I'm saying? Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to Elohim for Yasharal is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of Elohim, but not according to knowledge. Some of y'all got a lot of passion. You know what it is? You got a zeal for y'all, but not according to knowledge. That means you judge according to appearance, not righteous judgment. You know what I'm saying? That means your balance off, your perception off. You ain't got eyes to see, you ain't got ears to hear, you ain't got a heart to understand. You can't see. You steady in the natural, you can't get in the spiritual. So that means you dead. You're not alive. Because you're not going to get life thinking carnally. I'm telling you, I know for some of y'all, it's easier for other people. Some things are easier for some, and some things are harder than others. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? But boy, you got to y'all got to start putting y'all feelings and emotion to the side. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being dead real. Y'all start putting that stuff to the side, man. That stuff going to kill you. Y'all don't realize that stuff going to kill you. It's going to kill you dead. Because you always going to be off on what you think going on. You know what I'm saying? Or what you think you should be doing. Or what you think you should say. Because you're going off on how you feel. You're going off on how you feel or how stuff look like. Every one of us done looked at a situation and we thought it was one thing and we ended up and we were wrong because we didn't assess the whole thing. Everybody's done it. You know what I'm saying? After you've done that a few times, you'll stop doing it. You know what I'm saying? And you'll sit back and look at stuff objectively and then make a judgment. See, that's what the people didn't do when the Mashiach was on the earth. They didn't step back and look. That's what a lot of y'all do when the situations and circumstances you find yourselves in. You don't step back and look. He say for Hamash, he say for being ignorant of Elohim's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of Elohim. For Hamashiach is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believes. For Moshe described the righteousness which is of the law, that the man which do those things shall live by them. But the righteousness which is of faith speak on this wise, say not of thy heart, who shall ascend into the Shamahim, that is to bring Hamashiach down from above? Or who shall descend into the deep, that is to bring up Hamashiach again from the dead? But what saith it? The word is nigh thee, even in thy mouth and in thy heart. That is the word of faith which we preach. That's why Hamashiach told you the kingdom don't come from observation. Because you should already, see them niggas so dumb, if they knew the law, and I've been wanting to talk to y'all about Deuteronomy 30 for about 2-3 weeks, and I ain't been able to swing around to it. Y'all will, maybe I can touch it in the daytime. I still ain't touched the 2 things I want to touch with coming from Wednesday, truth be told. Y'all will, we get to it today or get to it later in the daytime. But I'm going to ask y'all a question. Don't y'all know in Deuteronomy 30, he say the word is near to you, that you ain't got to go in the waters and say it's here? Then he say you ain't got to go in the heavens and say it's there. So what you think he mean when he tell you the kingdom of the Most High is in you? Because you stupid, idiotic nigga, the word is with you. The eternal life is in the word. That's your strength. That's your hope. That might prolong your days. You know what I'm saying? But you got to believe it and obey it. You got to submit wholly over unto it. See, y'all don't submit wholly over unto it because elements of your flesh is still alive. So you feel like I can do this and I can do that, or have the attitude, and if it get done, it get done. If it don't, it don't. You know what I'm saying? That ain't good. It ain't good. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all, man, I can tell when somebody say something to a nigga getting carnal. You know what I'm saying? I can tell it. I might not tell y'all that all the time, but I can tell it. You know what I'm saying? I can tell it. You can tell when a nigga speaking from the flesh. You can tell it. It's a whole total different response and demeanor. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all know when y'all flesh get riled up. Y'all know how you sound and how you already know it's a different demeanor. Y'all sit back and realize, boy, the words say the Lord voice sounded like many waters. You know what I'm saying? So that means when that man spoke, boy, there was some power in his voice. You know what I'm talking about? To the point of where y'all think he yelling, he just a man. Because it ain't too many real men out here. When you used to hear Malcolm X speak, man, that man spoke with authority and power when he was talking about something he meant. Even with Martin Luther King Jr., whatever you think about it, when he was speaking about something he meant, that man's voice was totally different than when he just was talking. See, black people have seen very few examples of men, and to see how men speak and interact, y'all don't know it when you see it. You know what I'm saying? You expect nigga to be docile all the time. It only happens when a man talk about something that I'm serious about that, or he passionate about, or he means, his voice changes. Can y'all imagine how the Lord sounded when he was talking to these people? The man told you the kingdom of the Most High is not in word, but in power. You know what I'm saying? See, sometimes people take it when you go to talking and there's power in your voice, they take it as, I'm telling you, I've been on too many blog talks with them niggas say that. Too many conference calls, oh, this brother's emotional, he get loud. No, buddy, I mean what I say. There's power coming behind what I was saying. Just 2 minutes before, my voice was even. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here telling y'all something. I know some of y'all ain't never been around me before this word. I ain't never talked loud like that. You know what I'm saying? It was rare, unless I would talk about something and I meant that. My voice was always low. Niggas couldn't hear me. Niggas could be sitting right next to me and not hear a single solitary word that I said. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. It's when I went to dealing with the word that my voice got louder. I done told some of y'all this story before, man. I done been in apartments preaching, and somebody done came up to me and told me, boy, I heard you preaching and I never seen it before in my life. And they say, boy, I heard you 5, 6 buildings down. You know what I'm saying? And I'm standing here thinking about when they say that am I really even that loud? Because to me, it don't sound that loud. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, to me, it don't sound that loud. But nigga, like, boy, I heard you all the way around the block, round way over here. How could you? Because that's how the Lord do. He gonna put that. It ain't even nothing you trying to do. I done told y'all this before. You know them niggas in the videos when them niggas be trying to yell. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas be hollering. You can tell. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, some of y'all done heard me on the show, boy, my voice go up. It ain't no, oh, it go up and down. He go up, he stay up. And when I'm done, it's over with. Then I can talk again. You be like, was that the same dude that was just talking 5 minutes ago? No, it's just that certain block I meant what I said. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't have that same level of passion on what I'm expressing to you. But if need be, it can make an appearance. You understand something? When you're passionate about something, that means you care about it. You know what I'm saying? And if you care about it, especially not many of us to sit back and understand the Lord was passionate enough about us that he was willing to die. You know what I'm saying? Most of us are never had anybody who passionately loved you. I ain't talking about that stuff you see in the movies. Look at the passion that they have and they kissing, all that type of stuff. I'm talking about somebody that really care for you from the pits of their soul. You know what I'm saying? Most of y'all ain't never even had friends like that. Most of y'all family members don't even love y'all like that. You know what I'm saying? It's an odd thing for the average person to experience. They ain't never felt that before. They ain't never seen that before. So it get taken aback. Then you think it can't be real. You know what I'm saying? Nigga can't really love me like that. You know what I'm saying? Nigga can't really be down for me like that. Man, it was a song me and Fat Boy used to bump all the time by Pac. You ain't never had a friend like me. You know what I'm saying? Different with me is though, some of y'all don't, women ain't heard like this here, cause Fat Boy tell you, I don't care what I say out my mouth, I'll say whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care how a nigga feel. You know what I'm saying? And I can stand on that. You know what I'm talking about? If a nigga be like, boy, did you say this here? Yeah, I said it, nigga. I don't bite my tongue for nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say that. But I'm also willing to take whatever come along with it. You know what I'm saying? See, that's what a lot of people don't realize. You can say stuff out your mouth, but are you willing to take what come along what you say out your mouth, whether it be positive or negative? I'm willing to take that. That's why I'll tell y'all, I'll never be 501c3. I'm going to say what I want to say. Ain't nobody ever going to regulate what I say out my mouth. Ain't but one person that's ever going to regulate what I say out my mouth. And the man named Yahushua HaMashiach. Ain't nobody going to regulate what I say out my mouth. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say what I want to say. I don't care who get offended. Because if it's offends you to save your soul. The young lady I trained, she asked me about some of the word. The Lord opened the door and I just walked on in. She said, how was your service Wednesday night? And there it is. You know what I'm saying? There it is. That's all I need. That's all I need. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to put it on her. Even though I grew up with it, I ain't going to put it on her. But if you ask for it, I'm going to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? So I told her, I ain't got no hand up my butt. Ain't got no strings on my back. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that know me, boy, I always been 100 with mine. Boy, I'm going to go ahead and say that. I don't care if you get mad or not. I would tell her that she remembered Dean Williams hated me when I was in high school. That was the Dina girl. She said, you going to get killed behind your mouth. I said, woman, say what I want to say. Say what I want to say. We were just talking about this 2 weeks ago. Boy, I was the niggas want to walk off of school. I'm with that. And I'm going to take all the heat with that. You know what I'm saying? When I was in prison, them niggas say, boy, we ought to do this here. And I'm with that. And I'm willing to take the heat that come along with that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just talking about that. We can handle that. You know what I'm saying? I look the authority figures in the face and tell them the truth. I look at one of you niggas in the face and tell you the truth. I don't care if your feelings get hurt. You know what I'm saying? You tell me a situation or circumstance, oh, I'm going to go ahead and tell the truth. Oh, man, your people is there, man. I done had niggas tell you, oh, yeah, your mama's a fool. Oh, your daddy is here. Your homeboy is here. Or your sister is here. I care less. I don't care nothing about that show people, nigga. Nigga come tell me, boy, the only time I'm going to sit back and be like I ain't trying to hear that is if a nigga come tell me something about somebody and I know it don't line up with their character. You know what I'm saying? Then I ain't going to believe that. You know what I'm saying? Nigga can't come. If somebody come tell me about something about one of y'all did this or did this here and I know your character and what they say it line up with it, I give some credence to it. I may not jump on it and say they probably did it, but shoot, sound like something you'll do. Sound like something you'll do. Nigga, no, boy. I'm 100 with mine. I care less, boy. I don't care. I ain't never care about hurting nigga feelings. Never. Because that's what's wrong with people. You don't want nobody to hurt your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Don't hurt my feelings. That hurt my feelings. Nigga, so what? Nigga, suck it up, nigga. That's life. That's why our people in a bad state now, because don't nobody tell them the truth about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nigga let you have 17 boogers all in your nose. They ain't gonna tell nothing. Just point there and laugh at you. Everybody looking at you. Look at that big old booger in her nose. Ain't nobody gonna love you enough to tell you, you got a booger in your nose. You know what I'm saying? That's how niggas is. That's how niggas is. Nobody don't really like to be told stuff they don't want to hear. Especially about situations and circumstances. It calls you to look at stuff. I'm telling you, man, America, that's why I'm telling you, this place got our mind deranged. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to hear the truth. We have delusions of grandeur. You know what I'm talking about? You got all this stuff going in your mind. You pick up all these rotten and horrible and despicable behaviors. You know what I'm saying? Thought processes, ways and doings. You pick all this stuff up. And then the Lord is coming to your cell and opening the door and say, come out. And you want to come out and be free. But you bringing all this stuff with you learned in prison. And you think it's not a big deal for you to do this here, thinking it's not going to land you back in prison. If you want to get free, then get free. I done told y'all this too many times before. The number one thing that keep y'all from getting free is you steady looking back. You know what I'm saying? You looking back at what you used to do, who you used to be with, where you used to go. You looking back at your family, you looking back at your friends, and you ain't realized you got to lead them people where you found them at. I know that's a hard pill to swallow. I know that may be a hard thing to do. That don't mean that you can't have no dealing with people, but you can't be no fool though. You can't be no fool though. Some of y'all dealing with people who only feign an interest in this word so they can stay close to you. Not because this is what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be wise enough to know the difference between the two. Some of y'all, man, and certain people say they want to do this here, man, who y'all been wanting to do it. Y'all will jump up and down and go crazy. You'll never really sit back and look at their motive for why they doing it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna never sit back and look at, let time play this out and let me see if this really what they want to do, or are they just doing this for this reason or this reason. You know what I'm saying? I ain't do this for nobody but the salvation of my soul. It wasn't nobody I was trying to keep or impress when it came. When my little sister can tell you when it came, nigga, I'm talking about off the rip, first week, nigga, I'm ready to cut off and lose everybody. Like straight up. Nigga, I'm fresh out of prison. Nigga, I'll cut off all you niggas to live forever. And I ain't gonna miss damn one of you niggas. That's real. That's how serious it was to me. That don't mean I ain't love my mama, love my sister, don't love my cousin. But I love my Savior, my soul more than I love them. I done told you this before, man. I'll walk away from anybody about the word. Anybody. I'll walk away from and one of you niggas. You know what I'm saying? I'll get rid of and one of you. It's nothing. I love T. I'll send T packing about my soul. So it will. You got to go. It ain't because it's her. It don't matter who it is. That's how serious that is to me. Nigga, if I had kids that were of age and they were disobedient to the word, I'll cut you off about my soul. I can't only deal with you but so much. I can't deal with you like that. I can't have you around me. Not because I can't handle myself. It don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? It just don't make sense. I ain't messing with you like that. The reason being, because I judge according to righteous judgment and not appearance. See, nigga ain't gonna fool me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let time play it out. But let's get back to this right here, man. Get back to what we looking at in Job chapter 6. It's about 11:20. I gotta get ready to let y'all go. I ain't gonna hit everything tonight. Y'all all right though? You know what I'm saying? That's just real though, man. I love every last one of y'all, but boy, I cut and one of y'all off. I'm talking about ain't nobody on this earth exempt from that. You know what I'm saying? And any of y'all know me, boy. I love my little sister, boy, and I looked her in the face and told you, you ain't got to do this word. I'll never see you. Before she went and did it, and I ain't pressured my sister to get her to do this. She came on her own. She came on her own. I ain't talked to her about nothing. Same way I ain't talked to the girl I trained. I ain't say nothing to her about nothing unless you ask. I'm not going to say nothing to you about it. I put it this way. I do say something to her about the word. It just wasn't overtly. It was covert. You know what I'm talking about? The same way I be telling y'all, I be saying stuff to y'all and I be talking about the word and y'all miss it. I've been saying stuff to her about the word the whole time I've been training her. It just wasn't in the open. To where she wouldn't even know I was hitting her with the word until I start referencing the word. And if she got any type of brain, she'll be able to put two and two together. That make a lot of sense why he told me that. Now I see why he told me that and where he got it from. I'm telling you, man, that's why he say you got this skill. You got to have technique. I told you, I did the same thing with T. She thought she would call her to talk to me about working out, and I use working out as a mean to hit her with the word. You know what I'm saying? Use concepts of it before I openly did it where she said something about it. Because my intention, man, I ain't mind helping out with training. That wasn't the intention, though. Because the Lord had already put it in my mind to go get her long before I had the conversation. But when we first did it, she didn't take heed to it. We just left her alone. But when he presented the opportunity, I said, okay, the man already put it in my mind to do it. So now here go the opportunity. Got to hit him where it hurt. Got to slide it on in. Because you got to have some skill and finesse. Y'all be thinking I do and say stuff just to do it. Well, I got finesse with mine. I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't just do stuff just to be doing it. It's for a reason. I just be trying to plant little seeds here and there. You know what I'm saying? And fall back. Plant little seed here and there. Slide in, slide out. That hopefully that one time I slide in and we throw that rod out there with that hook, you know what I'm saying, with that bait, that fish might bite. Because just like we just read in Romans chapter 10, my heart's desire is that all Yasharal, that all my people be saved. I ain't got no hidden agenda. I don't want niggas' money. I don't want no woman's vagina. I don't want niggas' accolades. I don't want niggas' praise. You know what I'm saying? I want the accolade to go to y'all. I want the praise to go to y'all. Anybody who turn and walk in truth and be saved, glory be to y'all. You know what ends up happening if a man turn and hear that word and say they soul? Praise, glory, and honor redound unto the Most High through that man prayers and supplication that the Lord saw fit to allow them to hear the word and walk in it. I get joy from that. You know what I'm saying? Like the Apostle John, the Apostle Yachanan wrote, he said, I have no greater joy than to see my children walk in truth. Why you think I be telling y'all this stuff? Y'all thinking, man, that nigga be snapping about stuff, man. He be tripping. Man, I ain't tripping, no nigga. You tripping. You know what I'm saying? Every time one of you cocky-mamie, simple-minded, retarded, idiotic niggas, when I say something to you and you say I'm tripping, I didn't want you to know, no nigga, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? You tripping. You the dummy. I'm not here for myself. I'm here for y'all. So if the man had me tell you something, it's for your sake. It ain't for mine. I think y'all, it's not for mine. What am I getting from it? Absolutely nothing. You know what I'm talking about? So if you think I'm tripping, I didn't want you to know that I believe that you are the dumbest nigga in captivity. Because any other preacher of y'all's word gonna tell you the same thing. And if they telling something for you to save your soul and you think they tripping or you think, oh man, he going overboard, they gonna tell you the same thing. You are an idiot. Because guess what? The people said the same thing to the prophets in the days old. Man, that nigga tripping. He tripping. Don't realize you got to be some type of stupid. Back to Job chapter 6. Matter of fact, we'll leave that alone. Come on back over here to John chapter 2. I got to get y'all on out of here. Finish up this here where that first tabernacle standing. It ain't going to show the way. John 2 and 17. Man, this stuff too serious out here, man. You talking about your life. Don't be around here playing with your life. Don't be around here being stupid for no reason. And 16. And he said unto them that sold doves, take these things hence and make not my father's house a house of merchandise. And his disciples remember that it was written, the zeal of thine house hath eaten me up. Oh, what you got? Let's look at Psalm 69, where he got that from. You can be a lot of things in life, my people. Don't be no fool. Psalm 69 and 9. He say, for the zeal of thine house have eaten me up, and the reproaches of them that reproach thee are fallen upon me. Now, what did we read in 2 Chronicles chapter 7, which would have caused that house to be destroyed? What did we read about it? What did it say? Come back to John chapter 2. What did it say in 2 Chronicles chapter 7 about that house? What did it say? I'm not asking myself this because I just like the sound of my voice. What did he say why he would destroy that house? Because of sin. So the reproaches of the people, or the dishonor of the people, ended up falling on the house, right? Do you see where I'm going? So when we come back to John chapter 2, and verse 18, then answered the Yahudim and said unto him, what sign show thou unto us, seeing that thou do these things? Yahusha answered and said unto him, to them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. Then said the Yahudim, 46 years was this temple in building, without reared up in 3 days? But he spake of the temple of his body. When therefore he was risen from the dead, his disciples remembered that he said this unto them, and they believed the scripture and the word which Yahusha had said. You understand? They said, you see the key thing? Where is the strength of my hope? Is it in stones? They just showed you that. Because it said when he rose from the dead, it said not only did they believe what the scripture said, they believed what the Lord told them. See, let me show you something else. Come back to Job chapter 6. Let me show you something else. So now, the reason why I'm showing you this here is because we started in Matthew 24. And he said, well, not started there, but we looked at Matthew 24, right? And it said, no stone of this house will stay standing. It's got to come down. Well, you had to realize in order for the people to be delivered and be saved, that first house had to come down. Because remember from Galatians chapter 4, the son is no different from a servant, even though he be heir of all. And he was made in the likeness of a man, being born under the law, being made of a woman. So there was no way you could get into the Kodesh of all. There was no way you could be free until that first tabernacle was torn down. That's why he say this was the sanctuary pitched by the Lord and not man. Because when he rose from the dead, it was a sanctuary of a living stone put together by the Lord. That way they could get the guide into the most set apart of all, because the first tabernacle had been brought down. You understand what I'm saying? Even when this man is referencing the temple being destroyed, he's referencing about his death. Oh, y'all never looked at it like that before, did you? I'll take that silence as enough. Verse 1 of that 6th chapter of Job. I might be a little too high. Yeah, bring it down some, about verse 7. Matter of fact, make it 6. 6 and 6. Job 6 and 6. Can that which is unsavory be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the white of an egg? How many of y'all ever ate an egg white? What did it taste like? Tastes like nothing. Didn't he just say, he said, can that which is unsavory be eaten without salt? Hold what you got. Come back to Matthew chapter 5. We'll also possibly look at Luke chapter 14. And make sure Matthew 5 what I want. Matthew 5 and 13. That means some of you niggas need a little seasoning in, don't it? Oh, bland nigga. He said, ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt had lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. This man just said, can that which is unsavory be eaten without salt? That man said, if you ain't got no salt, you ain't good for nothing. I'm going to get rid of you. Come on, Luke 14. Luke 14 and 33. Luke 14 and 33. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsake not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. Salt is good. But if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for the land nor yet for the dunghill, but men cast it out. He that have ears to hear, let him hear. If you know the law, and we not come back to Job chapter 6, and we're not going to read all of that. You know, in the law, they had to put salt with all the sacrifices. Y'all aware of that? Did you know that? Did any of y'all, some of y'all didn't know that? Yeah, they had to put salt with them sacrifices. That's why the Lord referenced that. That's why he said, he that have ears to hear, let him hear. That's why he said, if the salt done lost its savor, it's good for nothing. Because the sacrifice couldn't even be accepted without doing it according to the parameters that were laid down. Is that not correct? So if the parameter of the sacrifice say that it need to be added salt to it, then guess what that means? You need to add a little salt to your sacrifice so it can be a little flavor to you. Because he said, if not, you ain't good for nothing. If you lost your savor, what good is it for you? Remember when it came up with Jacob, with Yaakov coming to Yitzhak, coming to Isaac? And he say, here go that savory meat, which I love. You think he ain't put a little seed into it? He said, it's the savory meat, which I love. You don't think he put a little salt in that sacrifice? Don't you realize he got a blessing and he was good for something? Don't you realize that Esau came back without no savory meat, with no salt, and he was cast out and he was good for nothing? Don't you realize it said the Mashiach was offered himself as a sweet smelling savor? It's something to think about. Come on back to Job, though. We in verse 7. He say, the things that my soul refused to touch are as my sorrowful meat. What comes to your mind when you hear that? The things my soul refused to touch is like my sorrowful meat. Anybody? Y'all extra quiet. Y'all ain't got nothing for me. You got to remember in Luke chapter 22, Hamashiach told his apostles, you are those who were with me in my temptations. Right after he said he became exceedingly sorrowful unto death and told him, eat, this is my body, my sorrowful meat. Listen what he said in verse 8. Oh, that I might have my request and that Elohim would grant me the thing that I long for. Well, didn't he in John 17, didn't he pray that we would be made perfect in one and that we could attain eternal life and dwell in the Father and the Father dwell in us as we dwell in the Mashiach and the Mashiach dwell in us? Did not the Father grant him? That's what he longed for. Even that it would please Elohim to destroy me. Oh my goodness. You just read in 2 Chronicles chapter 7, it would please the Most High to destroy that house if the people sin, right? Isaiah 53 said it pleased Yah to bruise him. It pleased the Most High to destroy him. He just said that first tabernacle got to be torn down. It pleased me. That's why we read 2 Chronicles chapter 7. It pleased him to tear it down. How else is he going to get the request that he get from the Most High if he don't tear it down? Looking at the long term. Looking at the long term. Which is going right back to depth perception. Going back to not seeing past your nose because you're looking at what it looked like on the face. You're looking at what you can get right now. That's why some of y'all, if you do desire to run a business, you're not going to be successful because you think short term and not long term. You got short term goals. When I'm talking about short term, I'm talking about thinking about getting rich real fast. And if you business wars to do numbers hard real fast, you ain't going to be able to know how to sustain it long term. That's why Paul sat back and told you this race ain't given to the swift. This ain't no sprint. This is a marathon. That's why he say, let us run the race with patience. Looking to the author and finisher of our faith, Yahushua HaMashiach. Listen to the next thing he say now. He said, even it would please Elohim to destroy me, that he would loose his hand and cut me off. Not my will be done, but thy will be done. That's what the man said. Don't that sound like the same thing? If it would please the Most High, kill me. Loose your hand off me and cut me off. For this cause I was born, and for this cause I came in the world. Y'all need to sit back and look at that. It should be pleasing to you that Yah used the word to destroy you, to cut you off from sin, that you might live under Yah. We just talked about that 2 weeks ago. Listen to what else he say. Then should I yet have comfort. Yea, I would harden myself in sorrow. Let him not spare. Listen what he says. For I have not concealed the words of the Kodesh one. And it goes into what we was looking at. What is my strength that I should hope? And what is my end that I should prolong my life? Because my flesh shall rest in hope that you will not suffer your set apart one to see death. Because why? Because the Lord trusted in the word. That was his strength. Now you look at, he said, I didn't conceal your words. Well, we know from Luke chapter 24, we know what the Lord did. We look at it all the time. What did the Lord do in Luke chapter 24? He told him the whole book was about him. That man sat back and said in John 16, he said, man, I tell you everything no more. I don't speak to you no proverb no more. You even read in Acts chapter 20 where Paul said, I ain't kept nothing back from you that was profitable unto you. I have not shunned to declare unto you the counsel of the Most High. I have not concealed your words. That's why y'all don't sit back and notice some of y'all be like, boy, the book called for 2-3 witnesses. Boy, bro, give us 6, 7, or 8 because I'm not going to conceal what the man got to say. I ain't going to conceal it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to conceal it. I'm going to let that be known. When certain things get said to me, man, the first things like this here, somebody could tell me something. I could see something on TV. I could see something online. I could be walking past and hear somebody having a conversation. And certain things I hear, it triggers stuff in my mind as it pertains to the word to share it with y'all. That's the first thing come to my mind. Is how I can take this natural situation and apply it to this word and go through this book and show y'all that. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. Man, I'm telling you, man. I told you this before. About 3 years ago, I used to be out there in front of the apartment me and Nell stayed in. I could listen to certain songs like that were about the word, not just, you know what I'm saying, like straight up, you know what I'm saying? There might have been a couple Lauryn Hill track. And that Anthony Hamilton passed me over. Y'all probably got like 5, 6 text messages on inspiration from them songs because of certain parts of the word that they were quoting in them songs. You know what I'm saying? Like instantly when I heard it, that's what come to my mind. You know what I'm saying? People say stuff to me, man, like this here. Some of y'all who sit around and some of the brothers know that, man, I be talking to them and that stuff just come out. You know what I'm saying? The word just come out because that's where my mind is geared to go to that first. Always. That's how my mind is constructed at this present time. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, Lord willing, y'all get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Come on back over here to Hebrews 9, though. I think we good with Hebrews 9. But as we sit back and we see, let's come back to Galatians chapter 4 and finish what we were looking at. And just read that one more piece one more time. I'm going to let y'all go. I want to read 25 one more time. For this Agar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, an answer to Jerusalem, which now is and is in bondage with her children. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. So when we come back and look at something that we talked about not too long ago in 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 19. And then we'll look at 2 Corinthians 3 and about 14. And after we look at 2 Corinthians 3 and 14, we'll look at the epistle of Jude and about the 20th verse. And after we look at that, we'll read Matthew 5 and 17. And we'll call it a night. He said, for when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh. I said 19, but I'm reading 18, pardon me. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they allure through the lust of the flesh, through much wantonness, that those that were clean escape from them who live in error. While they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servants of corruption, for of whom a man is overcome, of the same he is brought in bondage. And y'all will, the two things that I wanted to look at tonight pertaining on Wednesday, I can tie this into this here, but I'm not going to read it right now. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of our Lord and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach, and they are again entangled therein and overcome, the latter end is worse than them than the beginning. A lot of dudes, man, when you get out of prison and you free again, they get entangled right back with the junk that they left. And it'd be worse for them at the end than it is when they started. You know what I'm saying? When we sit back and we look at the opposite happen with the Lord. The Lord promised us liberty, and it'll be better for us in the end than it is in the beginning. Because what is my hope in my end? That's what we read in Job, right? It'll be better for us in the end. It's going to be the reverse because we have escaped that bondage. Because the things that the first covenant couldn't justify from, that's what Paul spoke in Acts chapter 13. You are justified from the things that you couldn't be justified from through the law of Moses. You were always in bondage to death because bulls and goats could never take away sin. It could never purge the conscience clean. So that means I had to tear down the first tabernacle and construct the second tabernacle. You understand what I'm telling you? And we haven't got to that point because we've been wanting to get there, and just y'all ain't allowed us to get there at this time. That's what we would look at and see in the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. That first tabernacle being taken down and that second one being built back up. You know what I'm saying? It's the similitude of a Mashiach dying and a Mashiach raising from the dead. Because it said the glory, because he told you, and remember we looked at that on the so-called 4th of July in the book of Haggai. The prophet Haggai, when he said, this latter house will be in greater glory than this former house. Y'all remember that? When a Mashiach was living, he was the first house in great glory. But when he died, he was the latter house and he was in greater glory because he had been raised in the likeness of Elohim, in the likeness of his Father, in the express image of his person. That's what we seeking. In order for us to do the same thing, we have to follow that behavior. Because he said his ways are higher than our ways. And his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. So what is that telling us? I need the mind of a Mashiach. That means I got to die just like he died so I can live just as he lives. So that means I got to destroy my first tabernacle and let the second one be rebuilt by Yah so I can be clothed with that tabernacle from heaven that we looked at on Wednesday. That house that was built, that you dwell in, that you didn't build. Because you got to sit back and look at it. Because he came through Mary's womb, even though she was inseminated by the Ruach HaKodesh, that was the hand that also go back to what we look at with the first Adam. That was made by Yah. No man pitched that. You understand what I'm telling you? No man pitched that. No man made that. But him coming through a woman, we can't make that statement. You know what I'm talking about? But when he died and resurrected from the dead, no man built that house. No man built that house. That's a house that Yah builded, which you didn't build for you to dwell in. A Mashiach is a house that Yah built. You gotta remember, that first temple, didn't a man build it? That second temple, didn't a man build it? So how can you know into the most set apart of all unless that first house be brought down? Hamashiach could not show them the faith in him to be sanctified in it, to receive that inheritance until he died and rose again. That way the way into the most Kodesh can be shown. Because you notice that way was not shown until he rose again. Correct? Did you not notice how I said that the disciples said they believed the scripture and the word which Yahusha has said to them after he resurrected, to show them into the way into the inner sanctum? Because the inner sanctum is, I am in the Father and you are in me. And if you are in me, then you are in the Father and we are perfect in one. What else did I ask for this 2 Peter? What was the other thing? It escapes my mind at the present time. Epistle of Jude. In verse 20. If it come back to mind, thank the Lord. If not, Matthew 5:17. Make it 18. Epistle of Jude in the 18th verse. How that they told you that there should be, make it 17. But beloved, remember ye the words which were spoken of the apostles of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. How they told you that there should be mockers in the last time who should walk after their own ungodly lust. A lot of y'all be getting mocked by people because these niggas sinners. And I don't see how you still want to hang with people who mock you. I was talking to one of the brothers today. He called me and said, man, I need your opinion on this matter. I really love this woman, man. Do I think I ought to be patient with her? Like the Lord been patient with me. But yet this woman mocks him to his face because of her ungodly deeds. This woman look him in the face, nigga, I don't want to do nothing you talk about. I think everything you talk about is utterly stupid. I don't see nothing wrong with going to the club. I don't see nothing wrong with getting drunk, smoking weed, wearing pants. Wearing makeup, weed, jewelry. I don't see the problem with that. I don't believe the Sabbath is on the seventh day. I believe it's on Sunday. Sometimes you sit back and you hear people say this stuff, you don't realize they're mocking you according to the ungodly things that they want to do. And as I told him, I tell y'all, and I understand on his end, it's probably going to be one of the most difficult decisions he ever have to make in his life up to this point. Because he may have to make a more difficult decision after that. But more than likely in his life, this probably the most difficult decision he ever had to make. Because somebody that he believed that he loved, he going to have to get rid of. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes what we love is we love the thought of what we had with that person or who we thought that person was. But when that word come around, you begin to actually see a person for who they is, and they don't really be who you thought they were. Because the book says the word is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. And some of y'all have seen what your family and friends, who they really are when that word comes. You know what I'm saying? You thought you knew these people. See, that's why the Lord say he's a judge of all hearts. He said, I try the reins. He tried to reign by manifesting that word. That word to go to show you, you thought you knew your mama. You thought you knew your daddy. You thought you knew your brother. You thought you knew your sister. You might have thought you knew your wife. You might have thought you knew your husband. You might have thought you knew your friends. But when that word comes, you end up finding out that these people got some dark, ugly, disgusting places that well within them. And it took y'all's word to pull it out. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to actually acknowledge that because you don't actually want to see that person for the disgusting, despicable person that y'all sees them to be. You want to see them as the person that they were before you became knowledgeable of the word. You understand what I'm saying? That makes sense though. You see what I'm talking about? Because basically, as the saying goes, you looking at them through rose-colored glasses. You know what I'm saying? See, I was able to thank the Lord for it. I was able to make that determination early. That, hey, man, that word come and niggas say this and say that. That's who they are. Man, I dealt with a woman, man, I'm going to be dead real with you. I only dealt with her because of the Lord. And I looked that woman in her face and told her straight up, I don't even like you. Straight up, I don't even like you. That if it was up to me, I would have no dealings with you whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And the first chance this man give me to flee, I'm gone. I'm gone. Because I don't even like you. I don't like, this woman looked at me crazy. I said, I don't condone or stamp nothing you do. I don't agree with nothing you do. I said, that's why I don't call you on a regular basis. That's why I don't come to try to see you or nothing. Because I don't agree with nothing you do. And I don't like you. I'm talking about as a person. I don't like the person that you are. Let me put it this way. I don't like your ways. You know what I'm saying? I don't like your brain and your thought process. Don't particularly care for you. I say only the Lord. That's a hard, some of y'all are looking at that's a harsh thing to tell somebody. But it was the truth though. Nigga tell me, I don't want to do this. I don't want to. I say, shoot, nigga, you ain't heard me damn nigga. I say, who do you think you are to think a nigga want you like that? Nigga, I don't want you. What you mean? Oh, why would you say that? What you mean? Why would I say that? Who do you think? What you mean? My life ain't going, I'm not going to jump off no diving board because you say you don't want to do this. Nigga, so what? Burn the hell in. I ain't burning with you. I ain't going to kill myself because you don't say, I don't want to be the wife of a preacher. So what? Somebody else will want to do it. You ain't got to do it. I don't care if you don't want to do it. And like I said, you don't want to be here. You ain't got to be here. So what? My life will continue. I won't be no worse. I won't be no better. I'm going to keep on going. You know what I'm saying? And this is like 2011 and 12, one time period I'm talking about. And I was only dealing with the word at this time 2-3 years, and I was able to separate my emotions from the word. You know what I'm saying? Because the average of y'all probably would not have been able to look that woman in her face and tell her that. I looked her in her face on multiple occasions and told her that. At first, I'd be like, man, I don't know if I want to tell her. I only deal with you because of the Lord. That might hurt her feelings. After a while, I said, screw her feelings. It's the truth. I wouldn't deal with you. Nigga couldn't pay me to do it. Straight up. Straight up. See, I don't look at people for how I want them to be or how I thought they were or how I wish they were. Nigga, you is what you is, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You are what you are. Remember, Hebrews chapter 4 says all things are naked unto him whom we have to do. All things are naked. Y'all better start sitting back realizing something, man. Boy, that word show how a person is. Boy, that word show what's in there, man. That word show what's in there, man. I'm sitting back telling you, boy, I started dealing with that word. I ain't going to say everybody, because most people that I knew, I already knew what type of time that they were on anyway. But for some of y'all thought y'all knew some people. Still, you started dealing with that word. And then some of y'all so simple and lame, y'all want people to deal with it so bad that all them niggas got to do. That's why I tell y'all women especially, man, don't be falling for that junk. Well, he called into a couple phone calls. He came to a couple services. Like that really mean that's what he want. And some of you men, y'all better not be that stupid to go for that junk. Because some of y'all niggas is extra lame. Can't peep no game. You know what I'm saying? Can't peep no game. You niggas don't even be looking for peeping no game. I know when a nigga running game. Because most of you niggas game is garbage as ColecoVision. And some of y'all too young to even know what ColecoVision is. Nigga, we get an Xbox 360, an Xbox One, and a PlayStation 4 and put ColecoVision next to it. Then you'll see what I mean when I'm talking about that's how raggedy some of y'all games is. Verse 19. These be they who separate themselves sensual, not having the Spirit. But ye, beloved, building up yourselves on your most Kodesh faith, playing in the Ruach HaKodesh, keeping yourselves in the love of Elohim, looking for the mercy of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, unto eternal life, because that's our hope, so that we might prolong our days. And some have a compassion, making a difference, and others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, even hating the garment, spotted by the flesh. Now unto him that is able to keep you from falling and able to present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy, to the only wise Elohim our Savior be glory and majesty and dominion and power, both now and ever. So be it. That's where we sit back and we look at those two things, those two covenants. One tended to life, one tended to death. Ishmael tended to death. Isaac tended to life. And the only reason why that's going to come, while you sit back and you look at the first tabernacle, that tended to death. You couldn't get the way into the most set apart place through that. That had to be torn down. And a new place, a new sanctuary had to be pitched. So with that being said, I say praise ye Yah for Yahushua HaMashiach. Bless Yahuwah of hosts our Father in the name of his Son. And thank the Lord for the word. That's good right there.